company, is his whole company Pack Games or just?
I think it is Paco Games. Hello! How's it going? Welcome to the Dice Towers live feed. Right now it's just me, but we do have some interviews coming up. We normally have something scheduled for 9:30. But wait.
What? Of course I slid into seat. How's everyone doing this morning? No, it's not. I'm just hosting right now.
We should be having an
Eric.
early interview. We had one of our folks in the schedule come along and say, "Hey, can I, get started early? Then it frees up a slot later in the day." And we said, "Sure." So we should be hearing from Chris Handy from Pack Games very soon. And we have a full slate of people to talk to today. It's going to be yet another very busy day. It's technically day 4, but it feels like day 3. Jason,
Day 3 of interviews. No, it feels like day 4. The first day was we did a long setup.
Well, I guess we had to set up the giant thing behind us, which has
Yes.
been very nice. I really like this thing.
I think it's gorgeous. I know it comes off very well on camera. I know some people were saying that it was too sepia, but the color of this backdrop is sepia, so it is meant to be sepia. It's not meant to be white.
Is that really pronounced sepia?
I think I've learned today.
Sepia. It's a sepia tone.
Is it sepia?
It is.
It's a very legitimate thing to think.
Okay, so it's sepia, not sepia, but yes, that is a tinted background. It is not white, for those who are wondering.
Yes. So, what did you play last night at the game night?
What did I play? I played The Unusual Suspects. I hadn't played it yet.
Okay.
And it was so much fun. I mean, yes, the game is, you're literally racially profiling these pictures,
Yeah.
but it is fun.
The game made me uncomfortable, though. Because all you get, you've got an array of people. Oh, thank you so much.
Isn't this like the whole?
Thank you. Yes, this is where
We're on, sir.
that's what really happens.
So why did it make you uncomfortable?
The only information you have is this array of 12 faces.
Yeah.
And they're different. They're wearing different clothing and in different manners. They have different expressions. They're very they're cartoony. They're not photographs of real people. But at the same time, the only information you have to make these distinctions, and you're asked a question: who went to university, and who didn't?
And then you look at some of these people and you're like, clearly they didn't.
Well, but you're literally making you're making impressions based on the look.
But there was a guy with like chains and a hoodie. Clearly they didn't go to university.
He could have gone to school. All of them in that array could have gone to university.
True.
And so you have to make these judgments because that's the only information you have. You have to draw some sort of line.
Yeah.
And that is the game, because what you decide as the witness and what the rest of the group may decide is where the conflict is going to come in that game. And maybe like with family or people I knew really well, good friends, I'd be okay doing that particular game. But I would be very wary of just bringing this out in a bunch of strangers like we did last night.
Yes.
I was just very cognizant of the people around the table going, if I say something, I don't know how that's going to be taken by the rest of the people around the table.
I wasn't cognizant. I think
No, you weren't.
I want to say my inner Jason, but actually it was my outer Jason that was just out.
Yes.
It was my inner Donald Trump that came out, but my outer Jason that came
Okay. Hey, let me sit here for a while. I want to talk about something.
out. Okay.
Since we have yet to start,
Hi,
we'll
Tom.
have someone in soon.
So nice to see you.
I want to talk about a couple.
That's what the internet says.
Chaz looks like UPS guy.
I was just pretending to work, so
Yeah,
doing something important.
You're a prop.
Yeah, I'm done now. So.
I had a
Chaz,
chance-
go do that thing we talked about.
You got it.
You got it, sir.
Somebody said he looks like he's waiting on Eric to sign for a package.
We're live streaming, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I won't say anything in response.
No, please do.
So anyhow, last night I had a chance to play Mystic Veil, which is the new card building game.
Yeah,
Where you
with
slide the
slide.
plastic things in. I think it's the most interesting deck builder I played since Dominion.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I want to play it right now.
Yeah, I do too. I didn't get to play that last
Had
night.
a good time with it. I mean, it's very mechanical. The theme is barely there, just like Dominion. But man, sitting there going, okay, if I add this to this card, that makes that card really good.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could add it to this blank card. Also, it's a push you luck element, so you know
Yeah.
that I'm probably not going to win. Although
It seemed a little bit like Flip City in the sense that you continue to draw cards from your deck, hoping
Yes.
not to bust.
that's true.
Is that the one with the transparent cards?
Yes,
Yes.
it's got overlays and sleeves. You stick. the
Really
transparent
enjoyed
overlays.
my play of that. Also had a chance to play. What's the
Via
game?
Nebula.
Via Nebula, which is a train game where they took the trains out, but it's still a train game.
It's invisible
It's a
trains.
Martin Wallace game, but super light, about delivering different goods to build cities, and then you build buildings. Really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, it's the most streamlined Martin Wallace game I think I've played.
As he said, it's a Martin Wallace game I really like.
Yeah, it's neat. It's got nice wooden bits. The components we saw were still prototypes, but the art seemed to be final, and it's very colorful. It's you got little workers that are unlocking clusters of pigs in the forest, and you kind of build a route to them. But anything you unlock is available not only to you, but to anyone else that's connected to your network. And it's not that hard to jump into anybody else's network. Like, we compared it almost to Transamerica in the sense that you're building a common
good ways.
thing. Yes. But that you may build something and spend an action making something available, and then somebody else is going to take that immediately on their next turn, saving them the action that was something that they wanted to get. And it has that similar feel of how do I time things so that I benefit before you do from the thing
Right.
that I'm doing.
Yeah, it's really intriguing. I mean, even like I might say, hey, I want you to take these goods so I can get my guy back.
Right.
And get another thing.
So yeah, that was very interesting. I'm excited about that one.
Tom.
I also played Schrodinger's Hat, which is a card liar's dice. That's essentially what it is.
Okay.
Really enjoy it. It's a simple game. Well, I don't know what else to say other than it's a card liar's dice. Oh, and it's about hats.
And
So
it's about hats.
Automatically a good theme.
I played Star Trek Panic.
Now, I think that my initial thoughts when I heard about this was that it was dumb.
Yeah.
Because, oh, Castle Panic, now you're a starship now, we're kind of stretching it.
Right.
Well, I know, I'm just saying that was my initial impression.
I think it's different enough from Castle Panic that it is worth it's worth consideration. What's different is that the enemies are a lot more. The pressure's on right away in this one because
What
the
are the
enemies can
enemies?
shoot at you. There's Tholians, there's Klingons, and there's Romulans. I think
They're
those are
all
basic.
attacking you?
And so they just show up, and those are the tokens that you pull from the bag, and they show up in the arc around the ship. But they shoot. So like in Castle Panic, an orc shows up in the forest, and you're like, okay, that's not good, but I've got a couple of turns to deal with him before he attacks the castle, right? But here, as soon as they show up, they're shooting at the ship, and you're taking damage to your shields, and the shields start disappearing. Those are the walls, or your shields are on the ship, and the shields are gone quickly. And now you have to spend resources. There's more ways to rebuild them and to repair them. And there's also ways to turn the ship. So I just took 2 hits over here, and I have a gap in the shields. I'm going to start taking hull damage. Every turn you get to maneuver the ship, so you can either turn it or you can move it forward, which can bring objectives closer to you. So you turn the shields towards something that you know is going to... I can't destroy this turn, but I can turn the ship so it's shooting at a different side of the ship. And there's also missions. It's all mission-based, so you play until you complete 5 missions. And the missions are all based on episodes of the classic series. So we played the Trouble with Tribbles mission,
Of course.
in which you have to get a Klingon warbird close to your ship and then discard a certain number of symbols, which beams all the tribbles onto the Klingon ship. And also you can't trade cards because that would spread the tribbles. So until you complete this mission. So it's stuff like that. It's
Oh, that's
an
interesting.
interesting twist on the system.
So
I
it
think
sounds like
it's-
you could add more missions and it would
you
be
could
different.
say they get the next gen license. You could easily add more missions, add crossovers, mix them all up, get a different enterprise. I think there's expansion possibilities if the licensing works out. But as it is, there's a big old deck of missions, each one corresponding to an episode of the TV show.
We should have recorded this.
We should have. This would have been a good thing to talk about. We could just redo it on the podcast.
Or I could pull the audio. We'll see.
We could do that too.
And then I also played.
I could show you something you played. High five, high five. I'll never get to do this again, so high five, high five. High five.
What's the rule?
Fist bump, fist bump, fist
There has to
bump.
be a reason
Fist
for
bump.
bumping. I don't have any cards.
Happy salmon, happy salmon.
Ew, oh, that's gross. Why would you do that to someone?
You didn't play this with us last night, Sam, did you?
There's a new game from Northstar called Happy Salmon, in which you do all those things. It's essentially like Pit, where you're shouting out the cards you have in your hand and hoping someone else does, and then you have to do it. So I would shout out Happy Salmon, and you would see that
Happy
disgusting
salmon, happy
display
salmon.
that already has happened on camera. And so you're doing this, and then when you finish a card with somebody else, you throw them in the middle. First person to get rid of their cards wins. You're also fist bumping, shaking hands, and switching places. It sounds really dumb. It is really dumb. Oh, I'm sorry. It is really dumb. But entertaining anyway. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. Apparently you can play with, 12 people?
Wow.
We did not do that. Oh, I think you need 2 sets of it. Did you
Oh,
see
okay.
it?
No, I didn't.
The game comes in like a fish package.
Okay, so easy to store.
You're supposed to actually pick up the fish when you're done and say, finished, as you flip the fin. You would be proud of it. It's a stupid pun.
Puns are the lowest form of entertainment.
Is there an irony bell that should ring at that point or something?
I was waiting for lightning to strike me down.
I think we're fin-ish with this review.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I also played a 2-player abstract game with James Ernest that is coming to Kickstarter. I know I don't normally play stuff that's coming to Kickstarter. I didn't know when I played it.
No, they tricked you.
I think it's called TAK, T-A-K, which I really like because it's essentially you need to get pieces from one side of the board to the other, which I've seen before in an abstract game. But here you can also move pieces and jump on top of other pieces, or even take a whole pile of pieces and drop some behind like Mankawa. It was very thought-provoking. I was feeling really good at it till he started playing with me. I mean, he wasn't playing me, the other guy was, and he'd be like, well, you could do this, and he'd move there. He said, you could do this, and that guy destroyed me.
Nice.
But it was a really good game.
I got to play the new Portal Games edition of My Happy Farm, which is a reprint of a Fifth Street Games title.
I believe they're almost identical.
I think they probably are, at least from what
It's
I knew
a
of the game. I
really
didn't play the
simple
original
gateway
edition.
style game.
It's certainly good for kids. There's decisions to be made for sure. You've got a bunch of animals, and there's a head and a tail card, and you are competing to acquire through resources the center sections of these animals. Like you're trying to feed the cows and the horse.
Feed the cows.
It's the cow, the rabbit. There's a rabbit. The sheep and whatever. And so when you feed them, they become happy. And until you feed them, they're negative points. But as you make them longer, just keep adding like belly cards to the middle of these. And it's all, you get seed cards, which then get planted, and they have to mature from turn to turn. And you can harvest them. Resource gathering, resource cultivation, but pretty simple when you get right down to it. I liked it. It's cute. The illustrations are adorable. And it's a good time.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy this one. I think your kids would like it too. Of course, I mean, who doesn't like an elongated pig?
Yes.
We ready to start streaming? I mean, I know we're streaming.
We are.
Chris came in, disappeared.
We saw Chris for a second, and then he went away.
You want me to try to go grab him?
No. He looked in the doorway. Oh, if you want to.
How many people are talking to us so far?
207 watching.
Yeah. Any awesome questions for us while we're
Negative.
good?
No, but
They were wondering if Happy Salmon comes with a bottle of Purell.
and we were told one of the stretch goals was the practice safe salmon.
That
and
was
you get a
something that
pill.
probably shouldn't go on the air.
Remember when Eric said awesome questions?
Yeah, we're looking for awesome questions.
He was very specific in that regard.
But yeah, how are you holding up? I mean, it's day 4 of the convention.
Yeah, I'm tired every night. I go and I crash and get up, and if you sent me an email, I apologize. I'm not doing real well getting those responded to.
Do you crash of bed?
Ugh.
Yes, please do it.
Hey, remember I brought that extra roll of duct tape?
Got it.
But yeah, it's been an intense several hours.
We're
each
willing to make a
day.
trade, Aldi.
Here's a real question. What's your biggest surprise so far that you've seen here?
Biggest surprise, like announcement wise?
Yeah, anything. Your biggest surprise, your announcements.
Galaxy Quest board game
Hmm.
from Catalyst. That's being designed by essentially a new designer. He did that Albion's Legacy game.
That sounds right.
That
yeah.
really giant game that now is in a normal size box,
Ah.
Ticket to Ride size box, because giant size boxes are just not a good thing to do.
The news of the Munchkin CCG was, I didn't expect that.
Did I not tell you about that?
I didn't know about that. That was a surprise to me. He just sent me into the Steve Jackson game seminar, said, go ahead. have
So we
fun."
did not. You guys knew about that, right?
What?
The Steve Jackson. I mean the Munchkin CCG with Eric
Oh,
Lang.
you knew?
And no one told me.
No, I wasn't in on that.
Okay,
Or maybe I knew and I.
Eric Lang
I
told
locked
us
it out.
Eric Lang told us at BGG Con. We just couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
the Munchkin game, yeah.
Yeah, he never got around to telling me because he kept going, I have something in this box that I can't show you right now. You're gonna laugh when you see it, but you know, give it a chance. But I never got around to seeing what was in the box.
What's
Like,
in the box?
I'm really looking forward to playing it though. I hope it's good. It's a CCG though, so that's gonna be, there's the rarity thing involved.
Here's a question. How many of these games that we have been seeing, I suppose, are bound to fail, meaning they won't sell enough money to be remotely profitable?
Wow.
That's a dour question, isn't it?
I think a few of them, obviously, for sure. Although there's a few of them that may not show up on the feed for that reason.
Yeah, let's switch questions. This new blue hat that you have, people are wondering, where do you rank it in your list of hats? You love your yellow hat, but where do you rank the blue hat now?
Top 10 hats?
Top 10 hats, yes. Tom's top 10 hats of all time.
I like this one.
That was that.
This is actually my favorite hat. I've been hunting for a royal blue hat for a long time
Well,
now.
it matches the logo,
Yes.
just about.
I'm gonna
not
try to
quite,
get
but
I'm
yeah.
gonna try to get this put on the hat if I can,
There you go.
but we'll see. I don't know.
MeepleCon newsletter says Tom, Z, and Sam will be at MeepleCon this weekend. Are Jason, Suzanne, Eric, Chaz, et al. going to be there?
No.
Now, Eric and Jason are leaving today. Chaz and Suzanne are leaving tomorrow. Is that correct? So, and then me,
Yeah.
Sam, and Z are going over to MeepleCon tomorrow at some point during the day, and then we'll be there till Saturday. We'll be there all day Saturday.
Yeah. I'm getting a red eye to go to ConCon tomorrow.
He'll be representing Dice Tower there, maybe. What happened to
Where did Chris go?
Chris? His games are like.
What's the best Euro announced so far?
The best Euro announced so
Via
far.
Nebula.
Yes,
Yeah, Via Nebula.
Via Nebula.
Really liked Via Nebula.
What's Via Nebula? Oh yeah, I played it.
You and I played last night.
I'll tell you this though, I'm really excited about the Eagle space version.
Oh, the
of
Glenn Drover
Age of Empires.
Galactic Rebellion.
Galactic Rebellion. Yeah, I said this looks like the same game. And he said, no, it's different. Look, here's a different spot here, but it looks pretty much the same.
I think it's more of a tweak. It's like a revision or a distillation of this.
I'm cool with that though. I mean, I really do like the Age of Empires or Empires Age of Discovery theme. Discovering a new world. But space is never going to hurt something unless it's a bad game. Then I'm going to nail it to the wall.
I like the. Did you see the prototype of the co-op that Eagle Griffin had? The concentric circles and the tiles can shift around and they get flipped over.
I did, but that one looks like it could be cool or really bad.
Right. It's very early, so it's kind of hard to. We didn't even get into
What about that one
mechanisms,
from
but
Eagle Griffin?
yeah, that slides around. That could be really neat.
Yeah, it could be.
People
Escaping
are
from a
asking about
prison.
Last Friday.
It's going to be expensive. I didn't see it. Did you?
Last Friday, we only saw, I think, the board, the cover of the box. We didn't see anything
He
inside.
showed us the inside.
He showed us the board.
It was a
he also
Friday the
showed us
13th one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It looks like it could be interesting.
I like the theme.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to like put on my Jason mask, being Jason, of course.
You
And be like,
Jason Mask and present.
Like the scenarios sound interesting. Like you start out trying
So he's saying.
to hide from
Is he
the
saying
bad
the
guy.
word red?
No,
Red.
you know what it's like.
Red. That's what I'm hearing.
Or actually, the Friday the 13th music is.
Chris,
Thanks, folks.
please come and
I'll
talk
see you
about your
later.
games so we can be rescued from this.
Dead
Yes.
air, wasted film.
We want to hear about your game. Let's get you mic'd up
goodness.
here. Just if you want to put it in your pocket or somewhere else.
I'm gonna go hunt down Gamma and ask why
gonna
I'm
run
saying
interference.
a lot of it.
I wanna just turn this
No,
off.
it won't.
That's it. Yeah, I don't think we haven't had any trouble with it. As far as showing stuff to the camera, we've got an overhead view that's about the middle third of
There's an empty one.
That's about all I need.
the table.
And we're off. Take one.
Take one. We get multiple takes. I don't know why we
Not
keep
when we're
turning
live,
this.
we don't.
So I have 9 games.
Oh boy.
So, do you want to do, so our Kickstarter was for 4, we're at 9. I can do the main 4 a little bit more descriptive and then just do a brief overview of the
I
others?
think that's probably a good way to go.
Okay, it's good because I can, I'm not as confident explaining quickly some of these other ones.
Sure.
So these are much more fresh, so.
All right. Well, are we ready to go?
How much time do we have, basically?
We're aiming for about 15 minutes total.
Total. Got it.
So
It's good.
we're moving quick. We don't want to get into too
No,
many.
no, no, no.
You do the camera.
I'll just do brief overview.
Yeah. But if you wanted to pull out cards, show stuff, that's certainly doable. All right, we're rolling overhead. I'm going to do a quick clap for audio sync, just so you know. Hello and welcome back to the Gamma Take 2. That's the first time I've done that.
That's how you
That
broke our
is-
streak.
That's why I said take one, Eric.
Way to go, Eric. Well, then you jinxed it.
Welcome back to our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I'm Eric Summerer. We're here in Las Vegas with Chris Handy from Perplexed.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good.
So
Having a
last
good
year, you had the release of your Pack-O Games.
That's
This-
right.
These little pack of gum-sized mini games
Yes.
that all came in a nice little carrying case. And you decided, well, why stop there?
You can't stop there.
You can't
No,
stop
we're
with just
gonna
one Pack-O Games.
Yeah, so we're on to Pack-O Games set 2.
Okay.
And we're trying to make these a little more gamer satisfying. They are short, kind of middleweight games.
Okay.
Lots of variety again, different range of mechanics. So,
All right.
We,
Well, tell us about some of them.
well, we're looking at 4 kind of a little closer here. We've
Okay.
got Gem, Rum, So, and Orc. So
Okay.
let's take a look at Gem here. Gem is for 2 to 6 players. It can play in teams or you can play individual as well. Basically, what you're doing here is putting out some events, and there will only be 4 events played in the second part of the game. The first part of the game is kind of a draft, just like in old PE class. You're going to put 12 kids out,
Yep.
and we're going to take turns drafting them into our hand, and you would go and so forth. If you take one of the bullies into your hand, the bullies are not great at events, but what they do is allow you to influence which of the 4 events may occur in the second part of the game. So when you take a bully, you can advance 1 event 2 spaces, or 2 events 1 space.
So there's almost a race going on
Yeah,
here
this
as
is
well.
this is kind of a small race that's happening here. Eventually, all the kids are drafted, and then this will determine which of the 4 will
worth
happen.
points.
Yes, and so then when those are decided, let's say these are the events. Let's move these over a little bit. We're going to take turns playing kids out, and when you play a kid out, you can do either this action or this action, or the one in which you're placing them at, this event action.
Okay.
So these are all kind of, they manipulate the game in some way. They'll swap kids back and forth or across the way, mess with the hand a little bit. Ultimately, though, you want as many, in this case, purple points on your side versus purple points on your opponent's side.
Right.
So that's kind of what you're trying to do there. If you play a bully in this part of the game, you would do the normal action as I just described, but also you have an opportunity to then move one of the coaches, which is on the other side of the 2 events that did not occur. And the coach actually kind of, you can move them to any one of the events, and they reduce the chaos at that event. So if you really want to kind of either lock down your own points that are working really well for you, you can bring a coach there, and it would minimize some of the movement of
Okay.
those kids there. So they basically can't be pulled out or
Gotcha.
yeah. So this is Jim. kind of a lot of interesting decisions. A little bit of an AP situation for some people
Yeah, okay.
for this. So there's a lot of choices in the hand. But this is a really fun game. A lot of fun theme.
Excellent.
And yeah, so that's Jim.
Let's move on.
All right. So Rum is a set collecting pressure luck game. The turns are very, very quick, and basically you're trying to get the most points. There's a set amount of points that you're trying to get for either 2, 3, or 4 players. The core of the game is either drawing or playing a set. If you want to draw on your turn, you can draw from the shipwreck, or you can draw from the beach and add it
So
to
all
your
these
hand.
bottles of rum are washing onto shore.
Basically, yes. And so each card has 1 bottle on the top and 2 different colored bottles on the bottom. And so when they're in your hand, you're kind of trying to decide which way you might play a set. And when you play a set, you can also include the 3 single bottles on the beach. So this is kind of a community area
Okay.
like Texas Hold'em or something
Yeah.
like that. So I have a green bottle, a yellow, a blue, and 2 red. So ultimately, let's put that aside. That's a good example. Let's do this. So I might play this set of cards. This is 2 yellow plus 1 more yellow, so 3 yellow, a pink, and an orange. Well, that's only enough for me to get the 3 yellow captain card.
Okay.
Because I played 3. Now these are all set at 1, so any player needs to play more than what it's currently at. So I've got this at 3 now. This 3 is facing me. That's part of the points I'm trying to achieve.
Okay.
You could later on play a higher set. You could play 5, steal this from me, and set the card in front of you at
Okay.
5.
And these go all the way up to 8
They
or
go to
more.
8, yeah. So one thing you can also do is play what's called a rum trio, and that is the 3 single cards in a color, and that will allow you to steal the captain card from wherever it is, regardless of the number, put it in front of you and increase it by 2. So if you had this at 6, all I had to play was that, put it in front of me, and place it at 8. So there's
Gotcha.
kind of, and then of course these will work with those. So there's
Right.
kind of some interesting stuff. Now the pressure luck part of it is that there's a parrot in here, which you will begin to curse immediately when you start playing this game.
Okay.
Because when he comes up,
Curse you, parrot.
if you draw it, then you have to discard, in this case, 2 cards back to the shipwreck. When the beach cards are taken into the hand, they're replaced with face down cards, and eventually they're all face down. Then there's kind of a reveal. New bottles wash up on the shore. If, when doing so, the parrot is revealed.
Oh, no. Curse you, parrot.
All players discard this. This acts as a clock. This will tick all the way to 8. That's one of the in-game triggers.
Okay.
Or when a player gets to a certain amount of points. That's rum.
Okay.
Yeah. Curse you, parrot. White. Stupid parrot. Okay, moving on to So. This is a Mancala-inspired game of gardening. There are 4 of these wheelbarrow cards, and this will represent a player on each side of these. There's a secret goal color on each one of the bottoms of these. So this player has yellow. They're trying to get as much yellow on the flowers in their bouquet that they collect.
Okay.
Okay? So during setup, you're basically going to seed the garden with seeds. And there are 4 colors in the game. On the other side of the seed cards, there are flowers. The flowers have 2 colors. There's an inner portion and an outer portion. Inner portion is going to be more valuable to you than the outer portion. So, on your turn, you must take one of the rows and redistribute it in the direction that the wind is currently going. In this case, clockwise. So, I might do. Let's see. I might do this row. And the last card that's placed will dictate what action happens. Because it was a seeds, it flips to its flower side, as do all other seeds that match that color. So in that case, we now have these 2 flowers in the game.
Okay.
Well, if I have blue, I'm trying to get as much blue into my cart, and that's how I will collect the flowers. So
Gotcha.
my next turn, if somebody doesn't defensively prevent this from happening, could go this, this, this. When there's a flower in any cart, the player who's active declares one of the 2 colors, and the owner of that wheelbarrow gets to collect all the flowers of that type. So if this was the case, I would say red, and I would get to collect those two
Collect
flowers.
those flowers.
So, when this is all cleared out, you're going to get points for all the flowers that you have. If your secret color is in the center of the flower, it's worth 3. The outer portion worth 2, and if your secret color is not on the flower, it's worth 1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's plow that field right there. Bulldozer.
All right, and so for Orc is a 2-player only game. It plays very quickly. This is kind of a battle line type of game. You're going to put out, you'll choose basically some cards that have all 6 territories represented. Each card has either one orc on one side and 2 on the other.
Okay.
And on your turn, you must play an orc down at one of the territories. And then you will draw. Dead air. Then you will draw
The sound of
draw the
cards being
corresponding number of cards back in your hand. So basically, if I played a 2 at this territory, I'm playing 2 orcs, I can draw just 1 back into my hand from any one of these draw piles. So I might draw this. On my next turn, I could maybe play this here as a 1 and draw 2 into my hand.
Okay.
So there's a balance
Yep.
going on there. Eventually, when a draw pile is depleted at a territory,
Yep.
then we're going to battle there. I've got 3 orcs in my color versus 2 in your color. I win that territory. We're going to mark it like this. This says that I control the purple territory
Okay.
for the whole game. I'm going to get 1 point because there's 1 orc there. At the end of the game, any purple orcs in my hand will also reward that number of points.
Okay.
So a lot of tension on what to play. Timing is critical, but it is a 5-minute game that is pretty meaty and fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll do a quick overview
like-
of the others, and we don't have to get them out, but I'll just kind of describe them.
Just show us. So how many total are in the pack?
There's going to be 8 in the pack, but we have 9 unlocked on the Kickstarter right now,
Oh.
and we're on track to do a 10th. So I recommend not doing 10 games for a Kickstarter. It will burn your brain.
Sure.
So let me do an overview of these. This is Nut. This is a 2 to 3 player game. It's kind of a set connecting game. There's kind of a pie cutting thing that gets nut cards into your playing area, and you're trying to connect colored nuts to get the most points. And you'll score each color just once. So you're trying to create big clusters. Boo is kind of Othello meets Boo from Super Mario Brothers. So basically,
the
there's
big boo that only follows you when you're not looking?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So there's 3 ghosts on each card. There's either black or white, and you're trying to use your color to stare at other ghosts that aren't looking right back at you to flip those to
Okay.
the other side,
Yeah.
which would bring up more of your color. Whoever has the most color of their ghost at the end of the game wins.
Okay.
And there's tombstones, and there's some other things going on. So this is pretty cool. The next game is Box. This is kind of a cousin of Hue from the first set.
Yes.
This is basically a game that has, just bring out one card. Cards that
boy.
look like this with a lot of dots. And your goal is to create a square. If my secret color was green, I would want to create a square with just the 4 square points in green. And as wide as it is how many points you get. So if this was a 5 by 5 kind
Yeah.
of square, you get 5 points.
Oh, neat.
You can cover up to 4 dots. So you're trying to figure out what your opponent's color has and cover them
those
and get big,
oh,
yeah,
wow.
big points.
Okay.
That's Box. Dig is a pick up and deliver game with an interesting mechanic where you dig a bone and the last card in the yard kind of does this leapfrog over to fill that void. And there are, it's pick up and deliver, so you're trying to drop off bones at a bowl. And the bowls will dictate how much the bones are worth at the end of the game. And depending on how close the bowl is to the doghouse, that'll dictate the value of the bone.
Okay.
So basically, if it's close to the doghouse, it'll be worth more points. And finally, Spy is a deduction, kind of hand management manipulation type game. You're going to try to deduce what your opponent has, and you'll move your spy within your own hand and get information across at your opponent's hand. It's kind of hard to describe. It's very interesting. This has been in development for 15 years,
Oh, wow.
actually. So there's been a lot of work on this one.
Now, my one question for you, all of these have 3-letter titles. Do you ever
Yes.
have trouble coming up with a 3-letter descriptor of the game you're designing?
No, and it helps actually to drive the theme.
Okay.
So, and I have a long list of 3-letter titles with some possible mechanics. So
How soon will we
helps.
see the set?
We're going to see them in winter.
Okay.
So
Chris Handy, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
And thank you for watching.
thanks.
Bring you over, we have
Long-winded. Jeez.
Well, get ready to talk with the audience some more.
Thanks, guys.
Yes. So, here's an interesting story while we wait for Chris to come over. I don't know if set up the camera. And so here's kind of an interesting story before Chris comes over here. We met Chris for the first time at Gen Con, and as Sam can tell you, Chris was in the booth right next to us at Gen Con. We had never seen this before, and we were like, wow, these games look like sticks of gum. And it was really cool to see this new concept of like these little mini games, but they were all these like, they look like sticks of gum. And you know, we got to know Chris a little bit. Come over here, Chris. Come on to this side. So we're talking about how when we first met you was at. So Chris, we're talking about how when we first met you, you happened to be our next door neighbor at Gen Con.
Yeah.
And we had never seen this, and we're like, wow, they look like sticks of gum, but they're a game. And then, of course, all of our fans got to see it because we had a crazy line right in front of your booth the whole
it was
time.
great. Actually, it was good to get some traffic driven over to that side of the con. So, yeah.
All right, so I've been writing down questions.
All right.
First one is kind of a funny one, but have you ever accidentally chewed a piece of your game?
No.
No. Okay, good. That's good. Second one was, have you ever thought of a legacy-style game in which you rip up the cards?
I have had somebody mention that they would think that was interesting. I don't find it interesting, but I have thought about ways to kind of, bend the cards, make like a pyramid and stuff to kind of, make some interesting mechanics. But I like just straight cards. I want to keep making games like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, what is your favorite gum?
Favorite gum? I think just the old school bubble yum, like the original flavor. Just like loses its sweetness after like 5 minutes, and just
Bubblicious?
rots your teeth and just disgusting.
Bubblicious?
I like Bubblicious too. Bubblicious watermelon is pretty legit.
Oh, yes, the watermelon. Oh.
Okay, have you thought about scenting any of the games with different gum flavors?
I thought about scenting the dig game, either with dog crap or. No, I haven't. But I have thought about scenting my booth, just putting on nice little mint, fresh kind of scent, draw people over.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd rather have, what's that fruity gum not the spearmint flavor, what's the fruity one?
Fruity one?
The one that's like
Juicy
a stick.
fruit.
Juicy
Juicy
fruit.
fruit.
Yes, make your booth smell like juicy fruit. Juicy
I could
fruit's
do
good.
that. It might draw people more, into the booth.
We touched on that a little bit over here, but have you ever considered using 4 letters to name your next set of games instead of just 3?
No, but I have thought of 2-letter games with 20 cards, but I don't think I'll do it. I want to try to stop the insanity.
Okay, gotcha. How many games were play tested before the final ones were chosen for the sets? I know you said you mentioned that one of them was 15 years in the making.
Yeah.
So how many different games do you play test for each set? I mean, it's probably an astronomical number.
No, it's for this set was probably about 16 or 17 games, I think, and we chose about 10 of them.
Okay.
So, yeah, and some were kind of ready for the last set, but they didn't make it. So, yeah, they're all at different stages at any time.
Cool. What about an extended case to fit all of the games in from sets 1 and 2?
Maybe.
Maybe.
For now, yeah, we're going to just stick with the one that holds 8 for set 2, but we may do something, or maybe like a small box or something. It's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
How sturdy are the cards? Were the cards we saw, are they production or are they?
They're like plastic
No,
almost.
those are my prototype cards.
Oh, I
and
was
actually,
going to say they're like plastic.
Yeah.
They're really sturdy.
I know, sometimes those cause problems because people think that's the final copy, and actually the box is not very sturdy, but the cards have an
cards,
interesting
yeah.
plastic laminate. But no, the final are actually poker grade cards.
Okay.
They're 310 GSM and black core, and if you know all that language, they're pretty legit. So yeah,
Okay, good.
Yeah, no complaints on the cards from the first set, so we're good on that.
And the person who asked this said respectfully, they're not trying to troll you or anything like that. How are these games being received by people on a grand scale, I guess, on a general scale? Do they use the word gimmicky? Do they think it's
Yeah.
gimmicky, or are they taking them seriously, or what?
I'm surprised. Yeah, people are taking them seriously. I think you have to be exposed to it and realize there's real think in there.
Right.
I think if I was on the other side of the table seeing these for the first time, I would be very skeptical. But there's a lot that's possible in that card shape specifically.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're trying to put the best games possible in these cards. So
Right.
I think they're very well received. In my
They're
opinion.
great for traveling
Yeah.
too. I know Z and I and Tom have played these, when we're on a layover in an airport or something
Right.
like that, and we just
Right.
pop them out. They're very convenient. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of game in there too.
I'm just curious, because I know these are all the stick gums. Have you ever thought of doing, like, since we're talking about Bubblicious and Hubba
Right.
Bubba, have you ever thought of doing a game of little blocks to make it like that style gum as well?
No, I haven't thought of that. Like a little building block game?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I'll consider that.
Yeah. Here's one that just popped up.
Sure.
Have you ever thought about? Let's go to this one first. Games as apps. Any of these as app games?
Possibly. Susan's going to put a lot of pressure on me, I think, eventually. Maybe down the road. That might be a good idea, yeah.
And we'll take these two last.
Okay.
Have you ever thought of making a large version of these games?
I've thought of it. I don't know if I'll do that, but to me the appeal is something that just is so easy to have with you. I don't feel like when I play these, like I wish they were bigger.
Right.
I'm personally, as a gamer, satisfied with the size.
Okay.
So
All right. And then last one, would you release a deluxe version with plastic cards?
I'm thinking about that.
Thinking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. I think it's a good idea. I might do like a best of the
Wanna
plastic
close up with
version.
the bag?
Close up with the bag. Actually, here's another quick question that I'm wondering, because we always talk about card sleeving.
Yeah.
Are you going to work with anyone to try to get special sized card sleeves, sized card sleeves for this?
I had the card sleeving company that's close to my booth approach me yesterday. So I probably won't do that. That's kind of anti the whole purpose of these. So.
Well, thank you for
so
joining
much.
us, Chris.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Yes, thank you. Let's toss it back over and see what's going on with Eric right now.
Just so that more of that's visible. Great. All right, we just need to start the cameras. Got that running. What? So it's actually the openings here.
I'm just doing what I was told.
I don't understand. Okay. Just need somebody to push the buttons and. Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep. Just gonna get that one rolling too.
There you go.
Okay. Here's a clap. Hi, and welcome back to Las Vegas for the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I'm Eric Summerer here with Julie from Greenbrier Games, and I'm talking to you from behind a pile of Yashima.
Yes, it's a lovely pile.
Yes, tell us what Yashima is, and then tell us how it's changing in the near future.
Absolutely. So, Yashima is a miniature space combat game where your deck is everything. It's what you do is you take a kami master and a kami, and you shuffle the decks to create your fighting deck. But it's not just your fighting deck. If you look at the cards, they tell you where you can be in location to your opponent to attack. They tell you whether or not you can use your karma to have initiative in the turn or to spend it to cast spells in your tome, which turns just like a
Like a spell book.
like a spell book.
Yep.
It also tells you when you're attacking how much you can attack for, and of course, if you're successful in your attack, that's taking away your cards from somebody else and they're putting them in the discard, and once you're done, it's your life. So, the game itself, the cards are what drive the action of the game.
Right.
However, you're using your miniatures to move around the board to
To
determine
get in
location.
position to use those cards.
There's also a fun mechanic where before you actually do your moving or attacking, you and the other players determine whether or not you're going to move or attack. So there's a moment where you place it down, and at that point you kind of know what your opponent is looking to do.
Okay.
And then when you choose, if you know they're going to attack and you know that you're not in a good position to do so, you can take one of the attack and forego that attack, which limits their ability to attack you.
Gotcha.
So that is the basics of the main game. And as you can see, we have some of the characters and then one of the miniatures from a expansion edition where you can replace some of the tabs with the actual miniatures. So we have a couple of those actually that are now available.
All right, so expansions.
Expansions. So we have 2 expansions that just came out, and they add 2 more Kami Masters and an additional Kami so that you can expand the game. So the original game, it's 2 to 4 players. Now you can build up so that there are multiple players that can play.
Aha.
And then each of the characters have their own special abilities. So in the base game, you have like Akiko, who was the hammer. She hits people with fire. She's
Okay.
pretty straightforward. For a new
Yep.
player, it's great to play.
Yep.
These characters have a lot more subtlety to them, so that, for example, you have the character who is planting seeds, and initially he plants little seeds,
That's
he's friendly,
fine.
he's a
How could
farmer
that be a
type, he's
problem?
jolly, he's happy.
Perfectly fine.
And then he makes them grow very rapidly and shred you to bits with the
Oh.
giant vines. It's a very visceral, but he's very cheerful about it.
Good.
He's helping the environment.
Yes.
He's very
green.
yes, he's very, very green. Very, very green. So it's a lot, it's a much more patient, waiting kind of character. If you want to be somebody who's more like our original Fire Girl, you go with our Ice Girl, who is also extremely powerful, and she's going to be hitting you with a lot of pain.
Okay.
With a whole lot of pain. So those are our 2 new expansions for Yashima.
Okay, so the base game available now.
Absolutely.
When will we see these expansions?
The expansions are available very, very, very soon.
Oh, good.
Very soon.
Maybe by the time you're seeing this.
Maybe you should ask that, and I can answer it right afterwards, where
Yeah.
I can give you a specific date. I'm
Quite
just saying.
possibly. All right, so let's move from the big box to a very little box.
Yes.
Ninja dice has been very popular in my house. I know my
Yay.
kids like chucking the dice around.
Fantastic.
And you've got something new for Ninja dice as well. So here's our little adorable package.
Isn't it?
And even a nice little display box. And last year, I want to say, was that the location cards last year?
That's right.
That added a little bit of extra stuff, but we also have a nice little pink box.
We do.
So what's in here?
So the original game, you roll your house and figure out what you're getting, and then the person whose turn it was gets to roll their dice and figure out how they're going to break into the house. And then all the additional players got to roll as well.
They're sort of attack dice, which can mess with what the active player is doing.
Right, and then it's not just it's also where it lands. So you have across the line, 1 die on this side is affected. Well, what we wanted to do was add the next layer. So this is, it's as simple, it's fast, it's easy to play. There's still a little bit to it where you're thinking about strategy, but we wanted it to add that extra layer. So the people who've played it, they know how to play it.
Right.
It is what it is. So we wanted to add the next layer, and that is to have specialists. So you pick.
We're actually opening the box right now.
We're opening the box. You pick your specialist. So if you want to be more of a spy type, you would
Okay.
pick the trickster. If you want to be more of an assassin, you would pick the assassin.
Now, do these replace the standard player
Correct.
dice from the base
And
game?
you would keep your color. So you are now that specialist.
Okay.
So you're still going to use, you're still going to break into the house, but I am also the assassin. So my goal is much more specific, and then you have the cards that tell you what your role is.
Okay.
So your fighting style becomes unique. It becomes stylized
Interesting.
in the game.
So how soon do we see this mini expand? And what's it called? Trickster? Or that's one of the
It's called
that's one of
Kage
the
Masters.
Kage Masters.
Yes.
And we'll see it
That is available.
now.
It is.
We'll see it now.
We'll see it right now.
Now. Julie, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Excellent.
Cool. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wait, and
Now.
now. Which of these boxes do you need first?
Oh.
A request to see those minis close up.
We'll bring them over.
You wanna just bring over the minis? We'll be kind of-
Yep. Hang on, I'm getting them. Camera.
Thank you.
It's probably very good for my pores. The acidity probably helps with the pulse.
I've got minis. Minis.
Who's that list?
Where is the list?
Well, these,
Look at them
they
close
aren't
up.
seeing, the internet camera isn't seeing the HD close-ups that they were taking. They'll see them later.
This one's pretty cool. He's got like a giant whip.
Don't get so close to the camera. Even with your hand back there, it's not focusing on it very well.
Yeah, it's hard to focus.
Yeah, I know.
I want to show them big so everyone sees them.
Yeah.
Figurines going in the box.
I had to take Ninja Dice away from my kids.
Did you? Did they throw them too hard?
My son took the Ninja Dice packet and threw it at my daughter's head.
Oh, at least it's padded.
Yeah.
She's got a cool weapon.
Like, that's not how you do things.
This one is kind of a cool green color. Okay, so lots of cool minis,
In the booth, I've checked twice.
which we should now pass to the other side.
So Stronghold Games.
Come on over here and have a seat.
And here's
Welcome.
all the minis. Let's put them on that
Well,
side.
just keep them with her for right now.
We'll keep them going.
We'll get them going. All right, just a couple of them. We already did the minis close
Am I
up.
never seeing those again? Is that what happened?
No, they are coming. Don't worry.
My precious, my precious.
How many minis come per box?
For the expansion, 2 minis per box.
2 minis per box.
In
Okay.
the core game, 4. Actually, that's not true because okay. Core game, 4. Expansion Forest it has the 2 Kame Masters and then the little monkey, so 3.
Okay.
And then the Icy Peaks is 2.
Icy Peaks is 2. Okay. Does the environment affect combat and/or movement in Yoshima?
There are different, so if you're looking at the tiles, there are certain spots, they'll have an icon that will tell you what they.
So yes.
Interesting, I see here. Is the green going to be the final color, or are you going to paint them, or?
The green that is the color of the game. We kept them in we wanted the jade kind of color so that it looks more like a jade.
Yes.
So yes, but you can't paint over them. I have. You gotta paint it white first.
All right. Will Kage Master's expansion fit in the original carrying case?
Will Kage Masters fit? Yes, absolutely.
Yep, we designed it to fit inside.
All right. What game? What game got you interested in board gaming?
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally.
Oh, I don't know. I was like 4.
Okay. What's the first one you remember then?
Oh, we played Monopoly ad nauseum, and I can remember playing it and being like, "There's got to be more than this," and I made my own. And that was the beginning of the end.
There's
That
a
was the
lot
beginning
more
of
than
the end.
Monopoly.
All right, good. Let's see here. Here goes. What is the name of the artist that did the box art?
We actually worked with a number of artists. I'm not sure specifically who did the box art for each one. They are all the cards, every single one of them. Each artist got credit because they did a beautiful job, and we didn't want to. So there were a number. So I don't want
the
to
artist is actually noted on the cards.
note it on the cards, and then also in the rule book
In
so
the
that
rule
you
book,
can
yeah.
see each one.
Good. All right. We're going to paint the minis. That's not a question for them. Let's see. I'm sorry. These didn't start flowing until you guys were done. Usually I try to take notes.
It's all good.
Let's see.
Well, speaking of painting minis, if we end up taking these, we might paint them when we get home. Sam,
No,
you
we
can do a
won't.
painting
We
seminar.
won't take them. They have to be offered. We won't take them.
So,
Any other questions, guys? Come on.
no,
Bring 'em in.
let's just chit chat about Ninja Dice. I
Yeah,
like Ninja
absolutely.
Dice a lot. This is what, like the third expansion, I think. This little expansion. 'Cause
Yes,
you had-
so we have the location cards, and then we have the
Yeah.
Kage Master.
And are you going to be adding more things on the road to the game, like extra little things as you go along, like you've been doing?
Maybe.
Anything you want to talk about yet, or
Not
nothing
yet.
official?
Not with Jeff staring at me and his eyeballs
Pouring
into me.
soul.
Because I like the
Nothing
game,
else.
and any more cool stuff added to it is just great.
It's fun, but it's also nice to change it up a little bit so that it doesn't ever. You don't want it to get stagnant. You want it to be
Yeah.
a fun pick-me-up game.
Exactly.
Could you rehash the MSRP for the products again?
Do you want to do that?
Yashima base game is $40.
The expansions are 30. Ninja Dice
Is 20.
is 20.
Yes.
Kage Masters is
$10.
10.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. Would you ever consider doing a game from an intellectual property? Might be.
Yes.
Yeah, you just haven't found one yet, probably.
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you ever think of releasing an alternative bag for Ninja Dice? It's been out for a little while and is fairly popular.
We Mum's the word.
Mum's the word. So that is a
In
kind
different
of
color ninjas,
kind of
pink
yes.
Ninja Dice.
That's a great question. What a great question, whoever asked that.
They want to see the Ninja Dice up close. Can we get some of those? This will be a good time to switch.
To swap with these for those.
The expansion is over. Right over there.
I love the case for this, by the way. It's like this little ninja-looking guy, and it's so cute. And then the dice look perfect.
So here's the best part. We're having our serious business meeting. We're looking at, we're talking about products. We're talking about marketing. We're talking about. So we go through. We have a designer who's come up with some ideas, and we're doing a slideshow to look at the case and the and talking about them. Well, if it's a sword, do they always use swords? It's more of a samurai. Like we're having these conversations about what the case. The picture of this comes up, and Teresa and I both go. Ah! And Jeff goes, "The squeeze have it." And that's how it got.
Have it.
That's
There
how
you
it got
go.
picked.
That's cool.
I love the
Good
case.
story.
The case is just amazing. Because it's like a little cute ninja. Look at that.
The symbols are etched in. They are not painted or printed on.
Yes, no, these dice are like really high quality, good dice.
Yeah, these are good.
These are the kind of dice that you're happy with when you get this game.
Means
Feel good in your hand.
they will stay there.
Yep.
That's cool.
And the coins are really nice too. There's coins in there.
Great. And I think that's about
That's
it.
Pretty much it. But
When will Yashima be on store shelves?
Yashima, the core game is Yashima the
Yeah,
expansions.
that's probably what they're
Yashima expansions will be available next month.
next month. So April. April. All right. I
There's
think
so
that's
much to this
I think
game
that's
now.
it. I don't know if they're ready yet.
no, because Mr. Bonacor is not here.
Shocking.
Shocking. Where is he when we're expecting him?
He's getting one more game. Two more games.
Two more games.
Tom told
Just
us
two more
we're not
games.
allowed to show too many of his stuff.
So what was the game that got you into gaming?
It was BattleTech.
BattleTech.
Classic BattleTech.
Classic BattleTech with the
It's a
little
good
damage,
game.
with the little
Yeah.
damage boxes.
Little
and-
damage box. I spent hours when I was camping with my friends in the trailer, and we would just build like the most awesome mechs.
Yeah.
Bet you would.
So
That's cool. That's very cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate
Yes.
it. We're going to get started
Thank
on
you so much.
Monocore. Thanks for stopping by.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you both for coming by today.
Thank you.
And let's take it over to the finally arriving with a million games and came late, Stephen Bonacor. We were told by Tom you're only allowed to show one game at most. What is with this pile?
Oh, we like live?
Of
Yes.
course we're live.
Always live.
Okay.
Always
We'll move the microphone.
live.
We'll move the microphone after he finishes.
Talk in general. I was told I have to just.
Okay, Steve. Okay. Jason, can we set up because we're running behind? Can you see up there? This is your visible area on the tabletop, so you can see like things like this are not in screen. Just so you know. Just so you know. Okay.
All right, so.
So whatever you're showing off, I just want you to be aware.
Put it up to the side and then bring it into the middle.
Yeah, slide in.
Yeah, just do it staring at the number camera the whole time.
Yes.
It'll look great.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Put it in your ear. My voice is probably louder. Yeah, it's a great video when I stare up there, right? All right. You know what? Let's make it happen. Let's make this happen.
Still see the red dot there, right?
I don't see anything.
Yeah, it says record. Yep.
What? Oh, that red dot.
Yeah.
The red dot here. And whenever you two are ready.
Okay, I'm gonna clap to set the sound, so don't be startled. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you.
We clap together?
No, I'll clap. Thank you. No, stop.
We're live streaming here, right?
All right. Yes, we are. Thank you. Ready? Oh boy, I have regrets.
No regrets.
Welcome back to our GAMA 2016 coverage from Las Vegas. Today I have Stephen Bonacore himself from Stronghold Games.
Does Chaz really need to be holding that sign saying Stephen Bonacore, Stronghold Games? Did he really need that? Did you really need to know who I was?
Should we start again?
No, of course not. Why should we do that? This is
Alrighty.
showing the behind-the-scenes nonsense that goes on here. Like, he needs to hold that sign up. All right.
We're doing a lot of these. It helps us keep track.
Yes,
So,
of course.
Stephen, welcome.
Thank you
for
having me.
joining
Yes,
us.
Tom was scared to be here with me. He knew I would ruin him, so I got you instead. Which
And I'm
is
happy to
much
be here.
much better anyway. Shots fired. That's right.
I know that it's a big year for Stronghold. Why don't you tell us about some of the stuff you've got?
We got a lot of stuff happening, as we did last year. 2015 was an incredible year, really a breakout year. We had, like I keep saying, 17 new releases last year announced, and it was fantastic. Now I'm showing off at the GAMA Trade Show, so the new stuff that's coming out right now over the next few months. It's not going to be everything, of course, but there's still quite a bit.
Great.
So the first thing that we announced fairly recently with our partnership with Eggerspiele was the relaunch of the Village line. The 2012 Kennerspiel Award winner, The Village, and the two expansions, Village Inn and Village Port, which were almost impossible to get in this country
Right.
while they were here. So just showing that off quickly to you guys, and this is going to be, with My Village. I have to mention
gonna ask
My
about My
Village,
Village.
of course. So the first part of this release will be these two, the Village and the Village Inn, and that'll be late April. And then in June, My Village, which I don't have here, with Village Port will show up then. So if fans of the Village and new people with My Village, because that's a new standalone game in
Right.
the line, we'll be very happy to see these things.
Awesome. I'm super excited for My Village.
Throw this over here.
Yeah, what would you like to talk about next?
Oh, what did we want to talk about next? I know. All right, I know you're very excited about Bear Valley,
I
right?
might be a little excited.
A little excited about Bear Valley?
The viewers, the Dice Tower viewers, are
Of
really
course,
excited
right.
about Bear
So
Valley.
Bear Valley. When we announced Bear Valley, it shot up to #1 on the hotness on Board Game Geek. Why? Because it has great cred with Carl Chudok being the designer. Carl Chudok of the fame. Okay, do it that way. Of fame for Glory to Rome, Tie Innovation. This is a bit on the lighter side from those kinds of games, because those are really, really heavy, thinky, burny, brain burny kind of games. But this is bigger than his Red 7 game. So we kind of like got there in the middle. In Bear Valley, which is going to have artwork like you've never seen really in a hobby game, really beautiful. Again, we're going to try to probably not going to see too much of this, but in Bear Valley, you're going to be creating a landscape where you have to get your people. You have to get your person, your hiker, camper. He's lost in the woods, and you've got to get him from the base camp. I didn't do this, the right way, of course, for right now. There are rivers that are going to be in the middle and things like that. You've got to get him from that base camp as you explore the entire terrain all the way over to wherever the final camp is. There are character cards in here, and the characters are going to have advantages and disadvantages. You're going to be picking up items like rope and canoes to get across the rivers that are out there. And of course, the picnic basket, because in Bear Valley, there are bears, and bears are not good. So you can throw the picnic basket at the bear, and you can scare him away. Yo, boo-boo, the picnic basket. So really interesting, very different kind of game from Carl Chudok.
Yeah.
But this is one of those games that I think his fans are going to recognize. You know, the marks that he puts into the games, those stinky hard decisions.
Right.
And 2 to 6 players plays in 20 to 30 minutes. So very fast, quick, and fun game.
Awesome. And when? I'm sorry if I missed it. When is this going to be available?
In May. Yes, May. My cheat sheet says that will be in May.
Well, that's coming up pretty quick.
Very
Did you bring
quick.
anything else you wanted to talk
I
about?
did. Why don't we just bring out Stellar Conflict, which Dr. Vassal gave a seal of excellence to.
Really?
A seal of excellence. And if those people might have already seen this, Tom did a video on this. That's when he gave it that seal of excellence. This is a reimagining of a game from cheap-ass games from many, many years ago called Lightspeed. Lightspeed? Yes, Lightspeed.
Okay.
And in this game, you build a fleet of ships, and we've themed this, by the way. We've re-implemented and rethemed it in the Among the Stars universe. Right. So you've got the races that we have in the Among the Stars universe. So I'm trying to find the rest of the color of the ship. So there's up to 4 players play. 2 to 4 players. So you have the various different races, colors for the races there, as you can see them. And you're going to build a fleet of a certain number of points, and there's rules for how many points or how big of a game you want to play. You build your fleet. That takes you a few minutes to do, and then in real time, you're going to be putting cards down, drawing them off of your deck, putting cards down, manipulating them. As soon as you take your finger off, then the card has to stay there, and you'll see they have lasers that will be shooting at the other ships later on. Your goal is to destroy as many ships as possible, and you'll get victory points for that. The victory points are over there. We have these, and then you'll be putting damage on the various ships to show which ones you've hit, and then you take them off if they've taken the most damage. And of course, we put these very cool laser bands in the box, not to be confused with colored rubber bands, of course. But these laser bands, each player has their own little colored laser bands.
Those look pretty cool.
They're cute.
So there's no arguments about line of sight at
No
all.
arguments about line of sight. You put it down, you go like this. Oop, I missed the yellow ship, but I hit the green ship. Things like that. And each one of the different types of lasers does different damage, and then there's special abilities on the various ships. So when Artipia and we re-implemented the game, we did this with some extra stuff in it. So I said the Among the Stars universe races, as well as there are asteroids now that you can put into the game. There are cargo ships. So there's a bunch of different things that we did to add some more gamerly rules into the game. And this is coming out also in May. I think this one's going to probably slip into June. So right around Origins, you could be able to get this.
And how many players does this play?
2 to 4 players.
Awesome.
Bear Valley was 2 to 6 players.
Yeah, I know. That's really cool.
So the other things that we have here, okay, well, how much time do I have?
You have plenty.
Wrap it up. Yeah, Eric's saying wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Anyway, so Piratoons. Tom also gave this one a seal of approval. He did. It's not here. This is the actual original version from Act-In Games, and we picked this up for U.S. distribution. So on our box, we're going to have a little Dice Tower logo on there.
Excellent.
Right? So in Piratoons, what you're trying to do is to build the biggest, baddest, best pirate ship. The cool mechanic of this game is that you can't really see this. There's a little lip on the bottom board there.
Indented. That's very cool.
That will keep these pieces in there. Mostly.
Unless you really
rough them up.
Yeah.
But watch this. So this is a pirate chest. It looks like a chest. In fact, the box even looks like a completely all art
That's
inside
cool
the box, which is really cool, bottom and top. So you're going to be taking the pirate chest on each turn, taking it, turning it over, and then reveal.
Wow.
And all of these pieces are then available for picking up. Each player is going to have meeples, and then they're going to, with one hand, put them out onto the various parts of the ship, so that they then, if you've won the majority, you can collect those various pieces of the ship. You start out with a ship, a little bit of a small ship in front of you, and then you'll be able to collect various pieces to make your ship bigger and bigger, and add different things onto the ship, and different people in the various places on the ship, and things like that. And you're trying to, it's like set collection majority. There are little details on the bottom, like these little flowery kind of things that if you match them, seashells. Are they seashells? My old eyes can't say that they're seashells.
Yeah.
Thank you. And little barrels, I can see those that you do. So you're getting majorities and various things. So you're building the coolest ship on the seas. And these ships will get kind of big too, as
that looks really cool.
If I did this right, and I'm actually in camera, they will get kind of big. You'll have a ship here. and you're trying to build the best ship. So very cool, very fast, quick games, a little bit of a speed game, 15-second rounds when those
Is
things
this
are happening.
is the target audience for this kind of younger players, or
This
do you
is a-
think this is really strategic?
Family game. I'm going into some more family games because last year was a lot of big games. So this one is more of a light strategy family game, as is the final one that I'm going to show you,
All right.
which is Animals on Board. This is a complete prototype, complete. As you can see, there's nothing on the sides of the box or the bottom of the box. Animals on Board, another game that came out of the Eggerspiele partnership,
Right.
is absolutely a family game whereby each have your own arc. Just quickly put that out. So you have an arc. So up to 4 players have an arc, and you've got all of these animals that will come into play. Very cute animals,
Yeah, it's great art.
really adorable stuff, and food and first player tokens and stuff like that. And you're trying to collect sets of these animals. Now, there's this guy called Noah. He's got his own arc, and he says that all pairs of animals he gets. So in the end, if you have a pair of giraffes on your arc, and you can't see this, of course, on camera, I have a pair of giraffes on my arc. Oh, we'll take those away and you won't be able to score those. So you have to have 1, you don't get many points, 3, 4, or 5
Oh, I see.
animals
Okay.
on your arc to actually score any of them. It's one of these games where you split, I choose. So like
I love
you'll
that
right, so
mechanism.
there'll be more animals than this out there, and you'll say, I'll create that set. I don't like any of that. I'm gonna make this as a set.
Right.
So you're trying to group things such that it'll be good for you to collect, but somebody else then might grab it before you. And so as you get things, you're getting bigger sets and stuff. First person gets 10 animals onto their arc. These arcs are 2 levels, as you can see. This one's the wrong direction, but as you can kind of see, there are 2 levels here
Yeah.
where you'd be putting your animals. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Very cute. Once somebody gets 10 animals on, the game will end, and you'll add up the points. Best arc wins. And
That
of course,
sounds
you
like a
lose.
blast.
You lose all of the. If you had a pair only of
Yeah.
the giraffes, Noah takes them away.
Sounds very cool. I
Yeah.
love the components direction that you're going in. So
Cute.
that looks fun.
Right, cute. You get these things. You build them in the beginning, the first time you play it, and then after that, it's all ready to play.
Boy, you do have a busy year coming up, don't you?
We do, and that's just the beginning of the year. We've already announced things which are coming later, like Terraforming Mars. It's going to be a huge release for us. Other games with Eggerspiele, Jorvik and Great Western Trail. So yeah, it's not slowing down. I promised myself last year that I would do less releases, and guess what? I lied.
How's that working out for you?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's not working out. I lied to myself.
Awesome.
So,
Well, thank you so much for joining us today here
you,
at GAMA,
Suzanne.
and good luck with your year and the rest of your show.
thank you so much.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you soon.
Bye, guys. All right, very good.
Come over here and visit us.
Because the
I'm
internet
leaving.
wants to talk.
Okay, let's. Yeah, I bet.
We
they-
also took your soda off that you kept open. The internet was afraid it was going to spill onto your thing.
The internet. The whole
So we
internet.
took it over. This one I want to grab as we come. Oh, Stellar Conflict. This one is so good.
Because I have kids. Right? So
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
Hi, Alex. How's it going?
Okay, Steve Bonacore is coming over in a second here.
somebody doing Mayfair?
So we'll be with him asking questions. I have to show you guys this. Stellar Conflict is incredible. I've played it with Tom. I don't know how many times we've played it since we picked up the copy at Essen last year, the reprint, but
Erickson.
these aren't just base cards. They have shields.
Yes.
They have, and each faction is different. Like some factions are shields, some are better weapons. So it's very asymmetrical. And these rubber bands, these laser beams, are really cool. Come over here, Steve. Join us. Yes. We've got questions from the audience. This one, pick it up immediately. This one's incredible.
Okay. All right, so we get your notes there or something? Is that what it is?
Games, notes. I got stuff. I got stuff. Not too much. I have like a 16K brain, so anything after that spills out.
Dial up low.
I got a 300 baud modem on this brain too.
Okay.
Oh, look at this one. This one's interesting right off the bat. We're on a lag here.
So
Right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, we're
All right, no
we're
biggie.
about 30 seconds.
No problem. As in case I curse, right?
That's very interesting. And now that he, okay. Interesting.
you-
Stronghold.
Did you go ahead?
Did you consider Stronghold an interesting name to pick? Because you didn't actually own the game Stronghold at the time, but you actually now have the rights to Stronghold.
That's right. So you're asking why did that name come up? I
Yeah.
went through many possible combinations of names. I had a business partner at the time. Went through all kinds of stuff, and finally I said, Stronghold would be a great name, and it happens to be the name that I call my house. It always has since I moved in. I just call it the Stronghold because it's got like a stone front. So I said, hey, how about Stronghold Games? He goes, oh, that's a good idea. Let's use that one. I'm like, little did he know it was the name of my house. Like, it's perfect. So the Stronghold, and then when I tweet things that comes about like I'm playing games, I'll say we're at the Stronghold and we're doing so and so. So it all works out. That's the reason.
Okay. Will Village expansions still fit in the original box?
Everything that all of the form factor of the original Village has been maintained.
Okay.
So if the answer was before yes, the answer is now yes.
Okay. All right. Good. What made you choose the odd box size for Survive Space Attack?
For Survive, all of the Castle Line games are in that size. It started back when we started the company, not to go with a square box. OCD players go crazy for that, and it is what it is. Buy all the line, and you'll be able to stack them together. It works out great. And you'll see all the little numbers on the Castle Line 1, 2, 3, 4 going up. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Just buy them all. Buy them all. They'll stack
But my
great.
shelves hate you.
Will these?
We'll see. I'm actually thinking about going to a square box at some point, but at the moment, that's what the Castle Line size is. It's not. It's a sloppy square. It's a.
But they're
off-center
good,
square.
like the two-player one where you put the things hidden inside it, where you draw and you put the things inside.
I have no idea what you're talking
Confusion.
about. Oh.
I
Okay.
love that one.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
It is. Okay. Thanks for taking all of our time. I appreciate it. Because I have like
It's
8
been
questions.
Let's blast questions. Blast questions for a
Here
minute.
we go. Quick. Will these games be available through pre-order system?
Yes, I will.
Okay. How long does Bear Valley take to play? approximately?
It's 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the number of players and the size of the river that you add, because we didn't show the river on the
Okay.
screen.
Add more. Will there be more animal tiles for Village?
More animal tiles in Village. It's the same implementation. So it's no,
Okay. Why did you use cards instead of tiles in Bear Valley?
because it's a card game. Carl Chuddick does card games.
Okay. Is there an ETA for Terraforming Mars?
July is the street date.
Okay.
Should be there. We'll be there for Gen Con.
Expansions for Ark. The Ark game, the Noah game.
Expansions are ready for,
I mean,
animals
just
on board.
you have
No.
ideas.
At the moment, no. But if
Okay.
it does well, yes.
All right, and then the last one: percentage of games reprints. What percentage of games in your company are reprints as opposed to new titles that come out?
What would we say reprints, like co-publications? Is that
Well,
what they mean? Probably?
Village
you
and redoing.
you pick up things like Village.
Stellar Conflict and
Also, the
and
older
that type of
games,
stuff.
Code 777.
Yeah, it's a longer one, but I'll go quickly. In the beginning, we did a lot of finding reprints, right? That we went out and found reprints and bring them back. Survive, my biggest selling game. That's what we did. And Confusion, and Code 777. Those are reprints. Now I don't do that as much. That kind of well is dried up mostly. I mean, the Village line is serendipitous because we had the partnership with Edgar Spieler, and they wanted to bring this back, and I'm like, it's a great game. I mean, let's bring this back. So we're kind of just bringing it back because of the partnership, really. But most of our and Stellar Conflict is similar because that was with Artipia Games. So, but I'm not actively really going and finding and like my own I need this reprint because there's so few of those at the moment that really need a reprint. There's so many great new games coming out.
Yeah.
So,
One last thing before we toss it back. Tom will be watching this at some point because he's out running around. You love to make challenges with him. Do you want to throw a challenge out now for Tom for next time?
No.
he'll never look at this. He doesn't watch his own videos.
Yes, he does.
Live stream. I appreciate it.
You're a bad man.
Thanks.
You're just a
Yes,
bad
I am.
man.
But it's great seeing you as always, Steve.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Let's toss it back around. We've got Mayfair Games here.
See you guys tonight. Hopefully, just hang out a little bit.
Yes.
As soon as he brings that mic to sit down in front of it.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, we have no microphone.
You're wearing mic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oops, okay.
All right, whenever you're ready.
I'm going to clap just to set the sound, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Welcome back to our coverage at GAMA 2016 here in Las Vegas. Sitting with me right now, we have Alex Yeager from Mayfair Games. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Great to have you here. What did you bring to show us today?
Well, we today decided we would show the next in the Lookout Games two-player line.
Very
So, Matthias Kramer's Fight for Olympus. We've been teasing it for a little bit for the last couple of months, but this is the first time we've actually had full art and enough of the components to actually kind of play and see how the game works.
Excellent.
So very excited to do this.
Excellent. This looks awesome. I mean, the art really pops out right away as soon as I look at it.
The artist that we have for this, and a Spanish artist whose name escapes me for the moment, has done an amazing job with the cards, the art for the board, the cover. It really is. It's a really attractive looking game, and it's a game I think that visually is going to look very different from the other games in the Lookout two-player line. I think a lot of gamers are going to get attracted. It's very much rooted in kind of basic Greek mythology.
Okay.
So it's not really a fantasy setting. But having said that, it's in the wheelhouse of a lot of people that like that sort of thing.
So can you tell us a little bit about the gameplay?
Sure. In its most abstract form, you're basically playing a Greek god trying to defeat the opponent Greek god by sending your heroes and soldiers into battle in order to basically take control of our little time, space, and the eternity, I guess.
Okay.
The basic premise of the game, there are two ways to win. It's either going to be sort of a military victory where you're gaining victory points at this end of the track, or sort of an overwhelming victory where you're going to have your entire side of the board full at the beginning of one of your turns.
Okay, so players have their own side of the board and they're kind of building a tableau, so to speak?
Sure, you have basically the game is played with cards, and the cards are basically come in colors. You've got 4 different colors. Cards either can be free to play, or some cards have prerequisites to play, which simply means you're going to discard 2 cards of the appropriate color in order to put that into play.
Okay.
And there are 6 spots on this line on the board that you can play at, whether that be your military, whether it be resources, or a Delphi to draw cards.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So cards basically play there. Some cards, for example, equipment cards, will attach and improve the capabilities. Most cards have effects. In the case of these are instant effects, so as soon as they're played, they're going to have their effect. After cards are played, so on your turn, you play as many cards as you can as far as what you have the capability to play. And then you're simply going to start here, and we're going to walk down the line, and we're going to resolve cards that are in the line. So in this case, this card is opposed, so it's going to attack for 1 point. We'll simply tag that with a wound marker, and that gets to 4, which is its defense value. It'll be removed.
Okay.
If it's undefended, so in this case there's no defense there, it's now going to get the board effect. So in these 3 slots, any card that attacks and gets the board effect is simply going to swing our little pendulum 1 step in your direction. Okay. So this will go back and forth throughout the game, but should it get to 7, you've won the game.
Instant victory.
Instant victory.
All
That
right.
gets you that.
I like that.
These 2 spots, if you're unopposed, will give you one of these little chips, and this is simply going to be a wild card which you can use to buy cards with.
Okay.
And then finally, if you're in this position at the end of each turn, you're normally going to draw 2 cards, control Delphi, and you'll draw 3
And
cards.
since you can play all your cards, that's pretty powerful.
Absolutely, yes. So extra cards in the game is always nice. So that's it. Basically, again, the victory is either swing it to 7 or have all 6 of your spots full at the beginning of your turn. So you have to basically last 1 round this way, but if that happens, that's also a win.
That sounds really fun. I'm a big fan of Matthias Kramer, so I'm excited for this one.
It's a very straightforward game. Love the concept. The art looks good. We're really excited to get this. Really excited to get this out. It'll be sometime about the June time frame. We expect to have it at Origins, and it should be available in the retail chain either that week or the week after.
Great, and that's Fight for Olympus from
Fight for Olympus.
Lookout two-player game series.
Yes.
Excellent. Did you have anything else you wanted to chat about, or are we good?
For the most part, this is the thing. We have certainly in the first part of this year, Steam expansion number 5 will be coming in April. There's this little game called Agricola. You might have heard of it. That, of course, the new version of that, the new base version of that will be out in May 19th. And then in the Origins time frame with Fight for Olympus, we have another game from Matthew Destin and Brett Gilbert, Costa Rica, which is sort of a push-your-luck exploration game that I think people are going to really enjoy as well.
Sounds exciting. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you soon.
We do. I didn't bring any. I can go grab some. I have
Excellent. Thanks so much.
This song was funny. I really like this.
20-minute game, really short.
I love that unposed and accumulation of the points against it. The art is gorgeous.
We'll bring you over. We got the audience to talk with now.
Cool. Oh, yep. Walk around for the next
So Sam, I don't know how you feel, but Mayfair has always been one of my favorite companies. I mean, they've been around for, what, 30-something years. Obviously, they brought Catan in. They just sold it off. But Mayfair is a very interesting company because they have such a long history. We were just saying how you have such a long history in gaming. You've been around forever as a company.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting to talk about all these things that are going on.
Okay, first thing, well, this one just popped up, and a lot of people want to hear about that probably. It says, please briefly lay out the versions of Agricola that are coming.
Sure. So right now we've announced three products in the Agricola line for this year.
Okay.
That's going to be the base game, which is 1 to 4 players, 48 and 48 on the improvements and the occupations. That should be out May 19th. It should be worldwide May 19th. That's what we're shooting for. But May 19th for sure in the U.S.
Okay.
And along those lines, what we announced at this show is their retailers have the opportunity to sign up for an Agricola organized play kit. Okay. Basically, they have to buy 1 copy to sell at the store, 1 or more. We think they'll probably get more. Yeah. And also have to agree to run an event. And by doing so, they're going to get a demo copy of the game, but more importantly, they're going to go into promo cards. You ever wanted to see an Agricola glitter promo card? You're going to have your opportunity on May 20th to 22nd.
Cards?
Yes.
Glitter cards?
Glitter cards.
Mind blown. I need it for my Agricola.
So retailers that pre-order the game are going to have an opportunity to get this box basically, well, it gets for free for the cost of their pre-order for their store. So that's something we're encouraging people that if they want those cards, if they want that opportunity, they need to talk to their retailer if the retailer hasn't already arranged that, and make sure they get that organized play kit in their store for that weekend.
Speaking of Agricola, Caverna, do you have any expansions planned for that?
Right now, we're focused on Agricola. To be blunt, that's been a pretty major project, and we want to get that right. Okay. So for the time being, Agricola is our focus. Caverna is going to be out there, and I think for a lot of people, and hopefully this is understood, but just to say it explicitly, Caverna and Agricola are both going to be out there and both going to be supported into the future. They're really 2 different games in our head, and of course different games in a box as well. But Caverna is all about sort of that race to get the things that you want, those rooms that are on the board, and build up that structure. Whereas Agricola is all about the optimization of the cards that you receive. That's 2 very different play experiences, and we want to make sure that people understand that Caverna actually, I think, is a nice stepping stone for people that are a little intimidated by the overwhelming, how do I put these cards together, for people that want to be able to explain those concepts and have everything laid out on a board. That's much easier to do with Caverna. So.
Now, it's interesting that we're talking about all this in the Lookout stuff, the Agricola Caverna, because someone here is asking about Mayfair. Now that you've sold off Catan, what is your presence going to be like? Obviously, you've now taken on Agricola, so from Z-Man.
Well, more importantly, we bought a controlling interest in Lookout Games. So Lookout Games are now through Mayfair Games. So that's a really kind of a distinction. It's not that we bought a license to publish Agricola. Mm-hmm. We own the majority interest in Agricola and all other titles that Lookout Games does. And of course, Lookout Games is Hanno Gerke, and is Uwe Rosenberg, and is Doris Gerke. And so we absolutely want to make sure that we're maintaining that culture and making that level of quality, and the games that they produce are still Lookout Games. But very much, kind of make sure that we're explicit in that this is a game that Mayfair is publishing. It's not Mayfair is licensing. So, but to kind of go back to the original question, so we've got Agricola Base coming out in May. Sometime in the August-September timeframe will be Agricola Family, which will basically be the old play Agricola without the cards kind of throwaway line that's in the game. That's now going to be pulled out and cleaned up to be a standalone game. So it's going to be a much simpler version, obviously no cards, just like the family version does, but it'll be a way of kind of getting into Agricola or playing with younger children, or being able to play the game that all those concepts can be explained and do that. And again, that exists because for the most part, we're looking at broad market for that. Broad market has no interest in full-blown Agricola. That's too heavy. This fits that mold a lot better. And then come Essen time frame, sometime in that late fall, we'll have the extension for Agricola, which will go to 5 or 6 players. And of course, we've never gone to 6 players before. The goal of the game being that we've streamlined it enough that you should be able to play a 6-player game in as much or less time than a current 5-player game would take.
Okay. We've got just a few more questions here. We've got to close up. Will there be a sequel to Patchwork?
That is unknown. Reply Hazy, ask again later.
Okay. What about a Hot 10 Roof expansion?
Hot 10 Roof expansion. No, although we've certainly been happy with the way that game has gone, and I think we're probably going to start looking at reprints in at some point down the line. It's done well for us, and it's a game that we put out a couple of mini expansions for, certainly, and certainly those would be candidates in the box. Don't know about an expansion, full-blown expansion at this point, but certainly the game has done very well for us.
Okay. Yes, I have 2 very quick questions I saw go by. One was about the Agricola pieces. Are you going to keep the same animeeples and all the nice pieces, or are you going to go to cubes, or what's the plan?
No, the goal is animeeples animeeples and vegemeeples all the way.
Yep.
In fact, on the wood front, basically, we have a new farmer meeple that will be the pieces, will be the farmers in the game. So no longer flat discs, will be actual farmer meeples.
Yes, and then the last question which I saw, which I have to bring in because I'm an 18X fan.
Yes.
And your train game collection, because I got into you from the 1856, etc.
Sure.
New 18Xs. I saw 1844, 54 at Essen, and
you saw it at the Essen before that too, to be blunt.
and also I hear about crayon rails. You're bringing back Iron Dragon.
Yes. Yeah, in fact, so on the Rails front, obviously lots of news because Mayfair is all about that. Steam expansion number 5, which will be out in April, and that'll be a box basically. It'll be a new expansion, but a box to put all of your other expansions into. Iron Dragon reprint is being worked on right now. We just got the cards approved. They just finished rebalancing all the cards, so we've got cover art, looks amazing. So we're looking right now to get the board and get the rest of that put together. And 1844-54 rules are sitting in my inbox. And as soon as I'm done here, I go find a coffee shop and try to finish off some proofing of that. But that project is finally going to, I think, move to completion here in the next few weeks. So.
Well, thank you so much for all your time. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure.
To talk with you.
Thanks so much.
Send it back over. We've got Z now over in the interview area, and we'll see what's going on.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead. You're rolling? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clap just for an audio sync issue. It's the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I'm Z Garcia. I am here with Robert from Clockwork Games. Robert, good to see you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And you've brought a game to show us. Tell me a little bit about this one. What is it called?
So this is The Shadow over Westminster.
Okay.
It's a modern adventure horror game where you are members of different secret societies. So you've got the Illuminati and the Knights Templar, and you've come together because you know that the end of the world is coming. Only you don't know what it is. So at the beginning of the game, you choose one of the 16 different scenarios, and it goes on the board face down, and it stays there to taunt you.
Okay.
Hopefully about halfway through the game, you do well enough that you get to flip that over and find out, all you have to do is stop the Ancient One from being awoken.
That's
Easy
it.
as that.
Okay.
The 16 different scenarios all change the game in different ways, and they run the gamut. So if you like your Lovecraft, you've obviously got your Ancient One. But you can stop Ragnarok, you can stop aliens, a war between angels and demons. There's lots of fun material in there. And 4 of them actually involve one of the agents betraying the others.
I see.
So if one of those flips over,
clearly cooperative game.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time cooperative. I like to call it a mostly cooperative sort of deck builder. Because your character management system is a deck of cards. So your character doesn't have any stats or numbers. This is everything you can do. And as the game goes on, you'll get better investigations. You'll get these artifacts from the British Museum basement, and you'll add them to your deck. But it plays significantly differently than any other deck builder that's out there. It breaks a few of the rules. For instance, the cards don't even all have the same back to them. And that's intentional. They have different type backs. What that lets you do is you know what type of card is on top of your deck. You can plan for that. You know what type of card other people have coming up, and you can save one card between rounds. It means that I can play my hand, plan my next hand and know what other people are planning. So instead of just a blind draw going in without knowing what I'm doing, I have an idea for what I'm doing on my next turn, and it gives you a much deeper level of strategy to come in with. It also, you don't just go and resolve something and you're done with it, because that's not really how an investigation would play out. If you go and investigate somewhere, you invest your resources and they stay there as long as you do.
Okay.
Other people can come in and invest with you, but you're racing against the evil things that are showing up around the board. So it's a lot of risk versus reward. You might decide as a team to try to go against that terror that's right on the edge of going bad, because you might think it'll pay off, or you could try to play it safe. It makes it so that it's a cooperative game that's not a puzzle with one right answer.
Okay, gotcha. So it's all card-based, really? There's no dice, nothing like that?
No dice, nothing like that. It's
Okay.
all completely card-driven.
Very nice. About how long is the game play?
So I like to call it that epic save-the-world game that plays in an hour, not 4 hours. So
Okay,
typical
gotcha.
game runs somewhere between 45 to 90 minutes, depending on the number of players and whether or not there's a trader. The traders tend to slow the game down because all of a sudden everybody gets very secret about what they're trying to do.
Sure. So based on the scenario, if it's one of the trader ones, you're telling me it's a little longer. Are the other ones, do they typically give you about the same play length?
They do. Every scenario, when that flips over, it changes the rules of the game, and they each change it in a different way that very much follows the theme of what it is.
Yeah, let me show some of these so we can get them on our overhead here. I'll just display some. You can go ahead and keep going. Yeah.
So you have a few, like the Armageddon clock starts a countdown scenario, and that one will play a little quicker because you're racing to stop it. Other ones, such as the Rift War. Suddenly, cards that would be bad otherwise become useful to you, so you're trying to collect them without taking too many, because they can still cause you problems.
Gotcha.
But you're trying to really build your decks larger before you go in, and that'll run to an hour or a little longer of a game there.
Okay, great. What's the price point on this one?
This MSRP is $49.99.
Okay. And availability?
It is available right now on my website, ccwgames.com, and you can find it in a few retail stores around the country. Hopefully some more soon.
Okay, gotcha. Great. Robert, good talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
It's been a
much.
pleasure.
Thanks. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Cool.
I feel like I got most of it out there.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good amount of info. I like the cross-reading of themes here.
Let's look at the scheme as we bring it over.
Originally, I was like, oh, well, there's a little bit here. Well, there's so many.
And as you can see, we have Northstar behind us as well, coming up next. So,
Well known. Public domain. Like, you know, the Lovecraft stuff, you know, that's cool. Ragnarok, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
we're waiting for them to come over. So, Sam, what about you while we wait? What games have excited you the most? You didn't get to talk this morning.
Really, the ones that I'm kind of really the most looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing what Dust Tactics is got planned for the future. They kind of said that they're kind of starting from the ground up again. So I'm kind of interested to see what they have. That game's always intrigued me, and the models are amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to Portal's first miniatures game called Cry Havoc, I think it was, and that's one I'm kind of looking forward to. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like the Daedalus Sentence or something like that.
Oh, yes,
from
with the circular board.
With the circular concentric board from Eagle Griffin. That looked really interesting as well. So a lot of things have been piquing my interest of late.
Yeah. What about what did you play last night?
I played. I only got to play one game called Star Trek Panic, and that was really fun. Really fun. So that one will has a very good chance of making it into my collection. It's the first Castle Panic game that I've actually played. So, but that's what it is. Come on over, have a seat.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you? Sam.
Pleasure to be here. Nice to meet you.
All right, we just have a couple of questions
Sure.
for you concerning Shadow over Westminster. Are those the final production figures? Can we get a closer up of them?
Yeah. Those are the production figures. These were actually sculpted by Chad Hoverter. He does a lot of sculpting for Plaid Hat Games, so you might know like Mice and Mystics.
Yeah.
Some of his other games.
Right.
I like it because they were all actually hand sculpted. They weren't 3D art files.
Really?
He actually does it in clay.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
He does great work.
they look very nice.
Is there a storytelling style flavor text in Shadows over Westminster?
There is a ton of flavor text. As a matter of fact, half of the rulebook is flavor text. It's backstory. So the rulebook is not really this thick. Half of that is story. But all of the disturbance cards, the terrible things that are going on. So you have like, for the poltergeist, you have bits of brick crumble off the walls and fall to the floor. Then they fly across the room toward your head, followed by a wooden chair and the light fixture from the ceiling. Something is very angry and has very good aim.
Gotcha. So there's a lot of flavor text in there.
There's flavor text on almost everything. All of the cataclysms, the end of the world events, have half of its flavor text, half of it is the actual rule mechanics.
Now they were asking about these. These are the cards that were being. I assume that's what they're talking about. They were talking about how big the cards were and why were they so large.
So these, the big ones, so these are the end of the world scenarios. These are the big finales. And I wanted to go large because it lets you get a nice big image on the card. You've got the story. It's a card. This is the scenario you're up against.
Gotcha.
So it's not like you're going through a bunch of these per game. You draw one of these per game, and I wanted to put a lot of content on them.
Okay. Let's see. Is it very text heavy, or would it be too much for a kid? Something like that.
I've had kids play. A lot of the text, again, is the flavor text. So you get more out of it with a lot of reading. But on most cards, you have a number in the upper left corner and a symbol, and that's most of what matters.
Okay.
Some of the artifacts have abilities on them, but once you've said it one time, it's easy for a kid to remember what's going on.
Gotcha.
I've had some people who don't speak English as a first language play it, and they've done perfectly fine after the first 2 or 3 rounds of getting to know the game.
Some people want to know, do you ship internationally?
I do ship international, and that's all listed right up on the website.
Okay, cool. What game got you into the hobby?
Oh, I don't know. I've been making games since I was a little kid, and I've just loved playing games and making games. The thing that really got me into the hobby of making games, actually, more so than anything, well, into making them professionally, was actually when I ran across the website, The Game Crafter. Because I'd been making little things, and I'm a teacher, so I'd made things for my classrooms and things for friends. But they gave me a way that I could make a professional-looking game, and I made one, I printed it up, I took it around to some conventions, and people loved playing my first game, Alien Labyrinth, which actually just got picked up by Phone Brain Games, so that's coming out soon too.
Cool. What game do you enjoy playing that you haven't created or is not part of your group?
So let me give you a few of the games that give me some
Inspiration,
influences.
yeah.
So Betrayal at House on the Hill, which I'm sure you can see some of the influences, like with the scenarios.
Yeah, right.
I like games that make really good use of their theme.
All right.
So not just a theme pasted onto mechanics, but one where they've obviously influenced each other,
Gotcha.
and both have improved significantly because of it.
Okay, cool.
Well, perfect. Well, it looks like Northstar's about ready.
Yeah, about ready to go.
Well, it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you very
Let's
much.
Send
Thank
it
you,
back
Robert.
over to Z
All right,
with
thank you.
Northstar Games, and we'll see what they have on their slate. I know I'm excited. We kind of gave you guys a glimpse earlier this morning that we talked about one of their new games, and
I think he's actually at a game.
I see more Evolution stuff as well.
I am rolling on both cameras. You're welcome, Robert. Thank you for stopping by.
All right, here we go. You ready? I am going to clap at the beginning here so I can get an audio sync.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I'm Z Garcia. We are here with Luke from Northstar Games. How you doing?
Good.
All right, and you were going to be showing us some upcoming goodies, some goodies that are available now as well.
Right.
Let's dig right into it.
Okay, so most of you know we did our first strategy game about 1.5 years ago, Evolution. It's a game where you have a species and you evolve it by playing cards that have various traits. And you can add more species, you can increase its population, its body size, you can become a carnivore and eat your fellow species.
There you go.
So it's kind of like a Euro game based, but a lot of interaction and strategy and conflict. So it's really hitting that kind of market no one's really done before. So it's a lot of card management, card interaction, trace combinations, but at the same time you have your opponents attacking you and trying to steal your food and all this kind of stuff. So it's a very dynamic game. We did an expansion last year at Gen Con Flight, so we brought birds into the mix. So now you can swoop down on your prey, unsuspecting prey, and you get to eat food at the cliffs that nobody else can get to, and add some new traits that only birds have. So it's very successful. This is, a $55 game. This is $30, and kind of combining, following up on that success. One thing that was missing was the climate. A lot of your evolutionary changes are based around what's happening in the environment. So. Our current Kickstarter and our next expansion for Evolution is climate. I don't know if this shows up well here, but this is the climate. This is the art on it, and there's two versions of it. We're going to have the smaller box here is similar to the Flight. Okay, this is an expansion. So if you have Evolution, you can get the smaller climate expansion, and that will then allow you to play climate with Evolution.
Okay.
We're also going to have a standalone, which includes the base game and climate. So if you don't have Evolution and you want to get into the system and you get into a more meatier version of the game because it's a lot more heavy with climate, you can just go into the standalone version.
Gotcha.
So that's what we have going on the Evolution front.
That's on Kickstarter right now?
Yeah, it's and we're doing pretty well, but it ends on the 23rd.
Okay.
So get on it now. You got a week.
All right.
So there's that. And then...
Both of these obviously available right now?
Right now?
Yes.
Yep. Happy Salmon.
Happy Salmon.
We're going in a completely opposite direction here.
Right,
Okay?
yes.
Here you got to think.
Still an animal. Whole different ball game here.
Here you have to act and act quickly. So you've got the fish packaging, and in the fish, you've got a deck of cards. 72 cards, 6 players. And this is the deck. This is just the color. That's not important. What's important are the actions on the card.
All right, let's take a look.
You've got the pound it.
Pound it.
All right, so pound it. Boom.
Pound it.
Simple, right? You got the high five.
High five.
High five. Boom. Done. Now the switcher here, we can't really do. You switch places, so you and I would change positions. And then we have the Happy Salmon.
Happy Salmon.
Where you
go.
slap 4 arms, okay? And that is the Happy Salmon. Those are your 4 actions. So at the start of the game, we do a countdown, you turn your deck over, and whatever's showing, you start calling this out because you need to match with somebody.
So high five for you. If I happen to have my high five showing, we finally find each other.
We do the
It's like,
high
oh,
five,
okay.
and then we discard the card.
There you go.
That's it. That's the game. All right? You have to do this as fast as possible because the first person to get rid of their deck wins.
So this is a game that, for all intents and purposes, could be 30 seconds.
It literally can be. I think that's the record.
Yeah,
We've timed it at 30 seconds.
So just condensed into one sort of big. It's a little bit like Pit, the old Pit with with the bell.
Right.
So loud, lots of shouting, lots of jumping
Right.
around.
And you have to get up, you change positions, and then like 3 people try to switch a route, but only 2 can do it, and 3 people are trying to high five, and 2 people are pounding on somebody. Yeah, it's just mayhem for like 60 seconds.
Gotcha. So what's the price point on this little thing?
That's only $15.
$15, and when is it going to be available?
That comes out May 1st.
May 1st, okay.
And some stores who have pre-ordered it at Toy Fair or here at GAMA will have it a few weeks early.
Okay, cool, very nice.
So just talk to your local game store, hassle them about it. Say, hey, do you have this Happy Salmon thing? There's videos on it with like pro football players playing it.
Okay.
You know, just craziness. Kids love it, adults love it. You can get 2 fish and play with 12 people.
Okay, gotcha. That's gotta be
even more
insane.
mayhem. Yes.
Yeah, that's gotta be wild. All right, so Evolution, Flight available now, Climate on Kickstarter.
Yes.
Happy Salmon.
Yes.
Ridiculous little Happy Salmon. Anything else coming in the future you want to talk about?
Well, down the line, 4th quarter, we're doing an Epic Geek. It's basically a New Wits and Wagers. We have special in-game powers. So you can be a vampire and you can suck winnings off the winning player.
Gotcha.
You can be the Wizard of Odds and change odds.
The Wizard of Odds.
Yes.
Nice.
So there's in-game powers, and then the questions are going to be sort of pop culture geek-centric.
Got it.
So a lot of superhero stuff, zombies, that kind of stuff.
And that's coming out at the end of the year.
End of the year.
Now, is that straight? Do you guys know if that's straight to retail? Are you kickstarting it?
We'll likely kickstart that in June. I think is what we're planning to do. And we'll have some versions of it at Gen Con for people to play.
Cool.
And, they'll come out in the 4th quarter.
Sounds good. Good
Awesome.
talking to you.
All right, Z.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you. Cool. All right. Good stuff, man. Yeah, let's get that off of you. And there, folks are gonna be wanting to ask you some stuff.
Yes, they will.
Back up the fish cards.
This is
Back up
actually
the
those
fish
are
cards.
outside of here. This is sealed.
Oh,
There we go.
Let's just bring this over. We played this last night and had so much fun with it. Come over to here, Luke.
All right, man. Thanks for coming back.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you guys remember this morning when I went over and I was high-fiving Tom and everything, and doing all that with Tom, this is the game that we were talking about when I was doing that with Tom. In fact, let's do it right now. High five, high five, high five. Fist bump, fist bump, fist bump. Happy salmon, happy salmon, happy salmon. You didn't get to play this with us last night, Sam.
I did
It is
not.
a lot of fun.
but I feel I just got played.
Switcheroo.
Yes. Nothing like being caught in the middle of a switcheroo.
Right.
This is Happy Salmon. It's fun. It's a blast. It's a party game, and it's fun.
So you have these cards in your hand, and you're just
Right.
you're trying to find somebody else that
To
can do
match
this
that, right.
and do this.
Right.
And you have to do them one at a time.
Switcheroo.
But if no one matches you, just drop one underneath and go to the next
Right.
one.
Gotcha.
So you don't fan them out. You literally like, oh, I've got to pound
Just
it.
got them like this.
You know, and then if that no one's pounding
Pound it, pound it, pound it.
you know,
Oh, sorry.
Pound it,
you
Sam.
drop the card, you put the card underneath, you go to the next one.
Yeah.
Come on, pound it.
Pound it. Maybe later.
Ah!
All right, we have some questions here. Will there be a Wits and Wagers edition for huge groups?
Well, you can play Wits and Wagers in
Yeah.
teams.
Right.
Yes.
So it already works well for large groups. You know, when we do like our Gen Con event or Dice Tower does the Origins event with us, they do the Wits and Wagers game show. We might have 7 people on a team. You know, we get like these big round tables, and you know we've had 60 plus people playing. I know Tom does some at the Dice Tower Con, and yeah, it's now for the Wits and Wagers Geek. You could say you have special powers. You're gonna have to consult with your group about how to use the power. It might be a little more tricky to do that in large groups, but you know, I still think you could probably play 2-3 people a team.
Yeah. Okay. Was it too hard to balance all of the expansions together, or was it a decision to make them separately for Evolution?
You know, we initially, you know, it's a process we're sort of new to. So when we did Flight, we thought, oh, well, we'll just do these series of expansions. But then we were doing Climate because, you know, there's some changes to the base game with it. It makes it very difficult to use with Flight, so they're kind of separate. So you can play Flight with the base game, or you can play Climate with the base game, but you can't really combine it because the other problem you run into, and I think a lot of games run into this, if you add more and more and more and more traits, the next thing you know, you've got to deck this, you know, and then it dilutes the traits, and it's harder to figure out how to balance that. So even with Flight, you take 40 random cards out of the deck. So you shuffle and then you take 40 out because you want to keep the play of the game, you know, at the same time. Otherwise, it just takes longer and longer and longer. Okay. So, yeah.
What's a number of players for Happy Salmon?
Up to 6. It's at least 3. So the game does 3 to 6. But you'll find that the color on the cards doesn't really matter. So when I'm playing the game, all that matters is the action, right? The color is irrelevant. So it just helps afterwards to sort out the cards.
Right.
But you could play with 2 fish and get 12 people playing. And this, all you have to do, really, the only thing that matters is that every player has 3 of each card.
Okay.
That's it, because the color, again, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. There's a concern about cards being bent easily with the speed of the game.
They're very thick. I mean,
yeah, they
you
are.
guys
They
should
are
see.
thicker cards. Yeah.
And they're like laminated or something.
Yeah,
You did,
yeah,
like,
there's a laminate
lamination
on them.
them. They're,
Yeah.
they're very thick. Look, I'm bending that. Look at that.
Yeah,
And
so
it springs back
we
into
haven't had a
place.
problem with it yet. I mean, I'm sure with a lot of plays, you know, that we get. But again, during the play of the game, it doesn't really matter if they're bent. It's not like you're playing a game like, you know, bridge or poker, and like, oh, he's got the bent, 10 of spades.
right.
Like, you know,
doesn't
because you happen
matter.
to know that the 10, it doesn't matter in this game. So.
The Happy Salmon forearm thing, is that something that you saw
Forearm
before, or did you
slap.
just create that yourself?
The guys who invented the game, actually, they had a friend that showed it to them.
Oh, okay.
And so they're like, they were looking for the 4th action. It had been head pat, where you had to pat the other person's head. And they're like, that was a little weird. So,
But this isn't weird.
but that's not weird, apparently. So we showed them the Happy Salmon. I'm like, oh, well, that's it. And I think he actually called it the Happy Salmon, and so that's where they got the name.
All right, 2 more questions. There is one here. Where is it? Are the player powers optional for the geek version of Wits and Wagers?
I mean, you can play them without, yeah. But I think the game works better with them. But you could take the question and just play regular Wits and Wagers with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable.
All right. They want to see the forearm slap card.
Okay. It's Happy Salmon.
It's Happy Salmon.
Happy Salmon,
There you
Happy
go.
Salmon. Look, they're even forearming, slapping each other in the thing. Sam, let's do one. Happy Salmon.
I don't want
You have to do one.
maybe later. Not right now. Though.
Too early. Not enough coffee.
Yeah, not enough
Wits and
coffee. There you go.
Wagers. I know you're doing the Geeks and Wagers. What's the ETA on Geeks and Wagers?
So we're looking at October for Epic Geek.
And,
fourth quarter.
Wits and Wagers, are you going to make more cards or more things down the road as well, just for the regular base game of Wits and
Card
Wagers?
expansions.
That's under debate whether we do kind of standalone versions like we're doing with Epic Geek, or maybe we'll do a sports pack. The thing with the Epic Geek is you really can theme stuff, and you say, all right, here's your vampire pack, or your science pack or whatever, and you can get really nerdy questions. I mean, there's a whole variety of stuff that we could do there. So that's under discussion. As to what the public really wants. We'll probably do a combination of stuff.
All right. Is there a insect expansion for Evolution? Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, because insects don't really work with the mechanics right now with Evolution. The way it's kind of on a macro level, larger creatures, and insects work in a different. But I know we're looking at a sea expansion, which would be a standalone that won't really interact with the base game because it's a completely different ecosystem.
Some of the thoughts that they had that they thought that insects expansion would work well with the flight expansion.
It could actually, I think it would work well with the plant expansion. So we're also looking at a plant version. Yeah.
The pollinization.
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
And then insects generally interact with plants and each other, not so much with larger animals.
Here's another interesting Wits and Wagers question. Will you ever go back to the cards that had multiple questions on them, like in the past, where you had like lots and lots of questions on
7?
each card? Yeah.
Probably not. We felt it's easier to keep track if it's just 2 on a card, even though the cards are thinner, a little harder to hold. But I presume. You never know. That's the kind of stuff that will change. But we like them to be consistent, so you can change the questions out with different versions of the game. So you can play Wits family questions with the Wits and Wagers betting mechanic, or vice versa, or a party with, family. So if the question sizes are different, it's a little more difficult. It's not the end of the world, though.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We
Cool.
certainly appreciate you
it.
stopping by.
Yes, we're gonna leave like that.
All righty.
That's it. I guess
We're gonna get set up.
we're gonna switch out microphones for a second.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna switch out the batteries on the microphones, and our next guest is in here. So we'll do a little Q&A. So if you guys want to send some questions to the Dice Tower crew for now, just send those questions in right now while I change up the microphones.
You're now live. Z.
So let's see what kind of questions we're getting. Chaz is over here now with us too. And we'll flip the camera around to Eric and Z if you have any questions for them. Just send some questions. Chaz, what about you? What games did you play last night, and what games have you been excited about? We haven't actually talked to you about what you got to see yet. So tell us a little bit about what you got to see so far.
One thing that kind of jumped out at me that I actually am trying to track down out there on the convention floor is I was taking pictures last night and tweeting about the games being played on game night, and there was this Dresden Files board game that I just said, hey, neat, Dresden Files. And I absentmindedly took a picture of it and tweeted it. That tweet got the highest response of anything I tweeted last night. So I'm trying to track them down and see if I can fit them into our schedule to talk to them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we just checked, and they're not out at their booth yet. So.
Yeah, because one of the things that you're doing is you've been going to different booths and bringing the people in here for us.
I've been trying to kind of keep things moving. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those people that were saying he looked like he was a UPS delivery man making notes and delivering a package,
kind of am.
Chaz is actually sort of delivering all the guests to us. He's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, making sure that we have different guests, if we miss someone in the initial list, we're like, oh, this is interesting, let's bring them over too.
So actually what I've been doing is trying to keep things moving so we don't have any downtime, which we now have. So I have kind of, I think I need to go find someone.
You better, because I just saw a whole bunch of Dresden Files come up where our chat is being flooded with Dresden Files.
Awesome. I'll go see if I can find anyone. I'm going to take this with me. I have it.
And we're going to turn around to to Z and Eric. Let's see, do you guys have questions for them? Why are you staring off into space?
Hello,
Eric?
we were talking about nothing.
Hey.
How's it going?
So, yeah, Jason's involvement with the Dice Tower is safe.
Yeah.
As
It'll
far
be
as
fine. Yeah, there's no plotting whatsoever. No. Game night last night.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy it? What did you play?
It was good. I enjoyed it. I got to play, I want to say 4 things. One was, let's go from, how about we go from lightest to heaviest, which was not that heavy. But the lightest game I played was Happy Salmon, which we just saw, the slapping game. I played that twice, but again, 2 games of that takes 2 minutes or something crazy like that. And it's fun. It really, no joke. You can get your cardio from that game. It's like a condensed amount of fun.
Is Jason the most extreme gamer in the group?
Depends on what they mean by extreme. Extremely annoying, yes.
Like shows up in costume every night?
Extreme, like strategically minded, if that's what you're asking, probably. He wins a lot. Anyway, so Happy Salmon was the lightest thing. Then I played a game called Sixes, which is a party game, also very light, which is quite simply flip a topic, write down answers quickly. You have about a minute to fill in 6 answers. If depending on the round, you are trying to match what people are saying. You are trying to not match what people are saying, but still be in the category. And then there's a third type of round, which is like a lightning round. Flip a card, 1 answer. Flip a card, another different answer.
Right.
It's fun. It's not original. I've seen a lot of those games with topic, write some stuff down. But it works well, and it is quick, and it's well done. I enjoyed it. And then besides that, I played Star Trek Panic with you, and that was a lot more fun than I was afraid it was going to be. Not because I don't like Castle Panic, but because I'm not a Star Trek guy. I've not really ever watched a series or anything like that.
You were a little wary sitting down when I flagged you down and said, hey, come on, let's play this.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I don't see you. I don't know who you are. Why are you waving at me?
I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to enjoy it as much because I don't know that world.
Right.
But the game took Castle Panic and the tweaks it makes to it, I think, are really solid.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the castle, for lack of a better term, rotating.
Enterprise.
Right. I'm going to call it the castle.
You can call it
the USS
Castle. That's the
I
expansion.
love the fact that the rotation idea. I love we are thrusting forward, so just the things in front of you get closer.
Well, there are some stationary objectives that you need to get to.
You need to
have
get them.
to move the ship toward them in order to reach them.
Right, and it's really thematic, actually. It does come through. So that was awesome. And then Via Nebula was the last thing, which is a Martin Wallace game. I don't tend to like his style. They're too heavy for me. Good stuff. You played that as well. Not the same game, but you played that.
Played it right before you.
Really liked that. Really liked it. That was my best surprise last night.
Sam has a question.
Go for it.
Can you do a Morgan Freeman impression?
Eric, can you do a Morgan Freeman impression was the question.
Occasionally, I'll try and do a Morgan Freeman style character, but I'll just do something along those lines, but I don't try and get an exact match.
We'll repeat the question as he says it, just
Yeah,
in
that's
case you're
probably a
not
good
picking
idea.
it up. And he hasn't said anything.
He hasn't. No, he said nothing. He's reading.
All right.
He's searching. No one has any questions for us. They hear from us too much.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Most exciting reprint or retheming or expansion, what are you looking forward to in that realm? Not necessarily brand new game I've never seen, but hey, this is going to get this game I have at home back to the table, or hey, this is cool that it's coming out again.
Guildhall.
Guildhall Fantasy.
Guildhall. The Guildhall Fantasy. I like what they're doing with the multiple boxes, and we talked about this yesterday. I think that will probably. I don't know how well it's going to mix with the original Guildhall.
Right.
But I love the system, and so that's going to add a neat tweak to things, and it's going to bring that back to the forefront a little bit. So I'm excited about that. Other expansions. I don't know.
I mean, the one I'm definitely looking forward to is King of New York Power Up.
King of New York Power Up.
But that's that's a no-brainer. Really.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of obvious. Okay.
Go ahead.
What new trends are you seeing?
What new trends are we seeing is the question.
Over the trend, like by bringing trends over, what trends are you seeing out of the games here?
Out of the games here, what trends are we seeing? I think the trend rather that I've spotted is I'm seeing a lot of small, typically Japanese or Asian games that are getting reprinted, prettied up, localized a little bit, and look great. And I'm really excited to get my hands on some of these. I know the Ravens of 3 Sahashri is coming out. The cards have been cleaned up. I thought it was kind of hard to read them in the original Japanese printing. I think it's Japanese. If it's not, forgive me. And the new one looks great. Nice big cards. And then the other one that I'm very excited about was a game called originally Time Bomb. Just very small little game. Really bad graphic design, but very simple. And that's coming out with a title that is Don't Mess with Cthulhu, something like that.
Yeah.
And the game's great, and I'm sure hopefully it'll get nice prettied up graphics, sort of a friendlier, sort of sillier theme, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
Well, you mentioned smaller games. I think that if you're looking for a trend, that's actually one I've seen. Almost every publisher has some sort of small box line these days. We talked with Haba. They've got a small, like a pocket games line. Tasty Minstrel is doing just fine with their small box, Flip City sized, Cthulhu Realm sized box.
Yes.
There's a lot of push towards small, portable games.
I mean, and the Tiny Epic line has done very well.
It has, and I think a lot of people are looking for that, small footprint, but a real game inside.
I think this industry is to the point that it's taken up so much that finally we are shifting, and publishers are shifting their sights onto let's exploit that little bit of space you've got left on your shelf.
Yes, that one corner. Sam has another question.
Yeah.
Question left for both of you.
Shoot.
What things you have 3 of each? Okay, both of you, if you could pick one game that will be a Dice Tower essential, what would it be?
If you could pick,
you can't pick Pandemic.
If you could pick one game to be a Dice Tower essential, and it can't be Pandemic, what would it be?
Are they asking if you could pick one game that's
if you could
here,
just snag
or
any
just
game,
any game out there,
and steal it?
That will be a Dice Tower essential, what would it be?
and I can't pick Pandemic.
And you can't pick everywhere we play is.
If I could just steal one, I'd say Codenames.
That's a good choice.
If you could just slap a Dice Tower Essential, sorry, Check Games Edition. This is ours now. Because it does so well with so many groups of people, and it's easy to explain. We actually were having breakfast this morning here in the hotel, and somebody spotted, our paraphernalia and asked us some questions. What's the Dice Tower? What do you guys do? And they asked what game would you recommend? What's a hot game right now? And immediately I said Codenames. That's one that's done so well with lots of folks. And they started looking on their phone, and they bought it while we were talking with them in the hotel, and said we're going to play at a bachelorette party coming up. So yeah, I'd love to steal that game. Just walk out with it, slap a sticker on it. I'll take the commission on it.
Oh boy, I don't know. I would love to, just because I think it'd be an interesting challenge to be able to maybe work on it. time stories. Because then just maybe I could get my fingers into the upcoming expansions and tweak them and just sort of be able to
Would that be
a small
an
part.
essential game that everybody should have?
I don't know. I just want to work on time
You
stories.
just want
I
your
think.
hands in time stories.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna set up with Ryan from Mayday Games.
All right, get out of here.
Ready, get him going.
Me and Sam will continue talking to you while Ryan gets set up. So we'll continue the chat on this side now. And how about you, Sam? What game would you pick as a Dice Tower Essential if you had to pick one game?
If I could pick one game,
I would pick Settlers of Catan because
Settlers of Catan.
the Dice Tower would make so much money and we'd never have to worry about funding ever again. Settlers of Catan is the one I'd love to see be a Dice Tower Essential, if anything. Third biggest selling board game of all time. The only games that have sold more is Scrabble and Monopoly.
I guess I would probably have to go with either Kingsburg or Stone Age. I think that would fit that line. Those two games would fit that line well. So that would probably be my pick.
And they were asking Z, even though Z's busy now, have we seen Pandemic Cthulhu? The answer, yes, Dice Masters. Whoever said Dice Masters, if I really had to pick a game, Settlers would be the fun the business, but if I had to pick a real game, Dice Masters is the one I would want as a Dice Tower Essential. I saw Pandemic Cthulhu. It looks really cool. The board is actually set in Arkham World. There's like Arkham and Dunwich and everything. It looks really good. There's some new cards and stuff that get played in it. I think it looks like, from what I saw, I don't know much, but it looked like it had a feel like Pandemic Legacy with multiple missions instead of just one singular mission when you play the game. But I'm not really sure because we didn't get the full demo of it. We just got to peek at it for a little bit. They have it sitting out at the Z-Man booth or the F2Z booth, and we got to see it. Did you see it yet, Chaz? The Pandemic Cthulhu?
I have not seen it up close yet.
Yes, I think it looks really cool. It's one of the games I'm very excited for.
Have you seen the mechanisms, how it differs?
I saw a map. With nice little figures on it. There's actual minis in the game, and I saw like this thing that looked like a thing with a bunch of cards along it, but I don't know exactly what it does because I didn't get an explanation. I wish I did. Hopefully, if you pop by the Z-Man booth, you gotta give us an update on how the game plays.
Will do, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go back over. It looks like Z's about done set up, and we're gonna look at Mayday Games and see what they have new for us this year.
That's what we've been doing. For some people, we've had a pile of cards.
Just click that onto your lapel like I've done here, and
Does it have to be really high? Or
no, right here, right where I'm at, it should be good. Yeah. And then just put that in your pocket. It's got a clip on the back.
Oh, and we've got the internet with you now.
Hello, internet.
Start this going. If you guys are ready.
There you go. In a rectangular window should be.
It is not square, it's true.
All right, I'm rolling here if you're ready, Z.
All right, cool. Ryan, Mayday Games, right?
Yep, Ryan Mayday Games.
I always practice before I get going. Alrighty. Yes, I got a clap to get the audio sync thing going on, okay?
We were seeing if we were to beat the longest title that was
Hey everybody, welcome back to our GAMA 2016 coverage. I'm Z Garcia. I am here with Ryan from Mayday Games.
Hello.
How you doing, Ryan?
Good, good.
All right, and we are going to be taking a look at some upcoming goodies from Mayday Games. And you've got one all set up here, so let's dive right into this.
Okay, so this one we just signed. It's called Nerdy Inventions by Almost Alien Lab. See, it's got pie on the front. Anyway, so in Nerdy Inventions, we are all inventors trying to build different inventions here. We start out with some inventions to work with. So it's a dice game. On your turn, you'll take 3 dice. You'll roll them, and you have 4 different actions.
Okay.
You can exhaust an invention you have.
to take the abilities, and basically most of the abilities are dice manipulation.
All right.
We'll kind of go over a little bit of that. You can also spend dice to recharge your invention or unexhausted. And how that's done is you take the die value versus the level of it, and it's got to be equal to or lower.
Okay.
So to recharge this, I've got to spend a dice 2 or 1 to recharge this. Otherwise, it'll stay exhausted the whole game.
Okay.
Other things you can do is you can, you see here that we have dice values here and the inventions underneath. So if I wanted this invention here, I don't know if it's hard to see or not, but on this one it requires a 2, a 3, and the cog means whatever number it's sitting under, that's the die I have to spend for it. So if I wanted this invention, I'd have to spend 2, 3, and a 5.
Okay.
You can also spend, I could spend this 5, I rolled that. So if I spend this 5, I can also swap inventions like this, if I really wanted this one to manipulate it that way.
Okay.
You can do these actions as many times as you want on your turn. You can manipulate, try to build this engine to gather more inventions. As inventions get purchased, they slide down. The game ends when the deck runs out. I don't have the deck out.
Sure.
Or there's a specific invention that has a blimp on it. If someone were to activate that invention card, which is kind of hard to do, that also triggers the end of the game.
Okay.
Victory points are in the lower left-hand corner. You total those up. And plus, if you see the different symbols here of the different inventions, if you have 7 or more different symbols, you get bonus points for that.
Got it. So you want a lot of different ones.
A lot of different ones.
Got it.
And there's a lot of decision making in 30 to 40 minutes. There's a lot of little hard decisions of when do I exhaust this, when do I unexhaust this, when do I buy, that kind of thing.
But how long is the game played, do you know?
30 to 40 minutes.
Oh, okay. You
So,
said that
yeah,
just
yeah,
now.
yeah.
I meant to ask you how many players.
Oh, players. 2 to 5.
Got it. Got it. Cool. All right. That looks neat. Lots of dice manipulation, it sounds like. It's really
Yeah.
just about messing with those to get exactly what you want. Okay. Very nice. I do like the artwork in it, too. It's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very-
it's really kind of the steampunky plain
Cool.
thing with that. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
When can we expect to see that from you guys?
Gen Con.
Okay.
So we're hoping for Gen Con on this
All
one.
right. Cool. MSRP on it? Don't know yet?
Don't know yet. We're actually
I
gonna
figured, but-
the box. We're actually looking more of the Dead Man's Draw size box for those that are familiar with that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
That'll be
sure.
the kind of the size of that.
Okay, cool. What else have we got?
We have here just an update on Garbage Day. Those that backed this or have looked into that. So here's the limited edition. We got the silver can.
Ooh.
Also comes with all the expansions in that one. And then here's what the regular retail version of. And if you don't know much about Garbage Day, so we're roommates, right?
Yes.
And nobody likes taking out the garbage.
No.
So what do? We like to pile stuff on top of the garbage can.
Okay.
Because we don't want to take it out. So in this game, you'll notice there's holes drilled in the cards on each of those.
Yeah, okay, right.
So, and as a
Show some of those. There
as
we
a company
go.
that sells card sleeves, you cannot sleeve this game. So it's really brilliant on our end. But
Oops.
but as you lay your garbage in the garbage can,
Okay.
you have to be able to see through the 2 holes. If there's any kind of card showing underneath, you've got to move it.
Oh, so I can never cover a hole, is the idea.
Well, you can cover a hole, but you have to be able to see through it as you place garbage on top.
Got it. So the new ones
The new
I have
ones,
to see through.
right.
Got it.
And you have
It just makes you sort of spread out, is the idea.
and you have smell values at the bottom of your card. So as
Okay.
these fall out, if they fall out of the garbage can, you have to collect them into your room. And if your
Got
room
it.
gets too messy or too stinky, you as a roommate, we boot you out. So it's player elimination. You'll
Gotcha.
get kicked out of the house, and then we eliminate down to 1 person, and that's who wins the
That's
game.
the game. Okay, probably a very short game. About how long is the play length?
Half hour or so.
Half hour.
Yeah,
All right.
Really short game. And then we have these 4 expansions already that'll be available when the game comes out.
When is this
So,
available?
We're hoping it'll ship to backers in April, general public in May. So.
Okay, cool. What about the limited edition one?
So this one, it will be available through our website.
Okay.
For consumers, if they want the shiny garbage can, if they want to stick to, this is kind of the old school, right? The garbage cans don't look like this now, but
Right, yeah.
But that's Garbage Day. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah, fun little dexterity game. This one, Captain Carcass, or retheming of Dead Man's Draw, a reskinning of the artwork. I just show you a few of the.
Yes,
cards here.
I'm very excited to look at these cards up close.
So here's some of the new artwork on the anchors, the mermaids, some of the nets. I think it's just gorgeous artwork.
This is a final production copy
this
already?
is a final production copy. Here's some of the trait cards. So the characters have changed as well from what we're used to. There's the Kraken.
A quick question for you. Did any of the rules change from one version to the next? Is it a straight reprint with new artwork?
It's a straight reprint. with
Okay,
new
got it.
artwork,
So same characters, same suits with the same powers, all of that. Okay.
So we partnered with Bombex, a French publisher, and they wanted to do a reskin of sorts, and we had a good demand here in the States. People really wanted this version as well, so we're bringing it over here. So.
Gotcha. So this went through Kickstarter already. When can we get our hands on it?
May.
May.
So,
Excellent.
Yep.
Looking forward to May. And we've got one more over there. A little
throwing a lot at you.
game over there. Yes, we do.
So this one, Dungeon Busters. So this one, hoping July we'll get this one.
Okay,
get one
July.
here. Oh, there's a lot of gems. So let me dump those out. Ooh, pretty. So, oh geez, there's gems everywhere. Okay. So we'll each have different characters with numerical values. This is actually the Korea Board Games version. So our version, the box size is the same. We've kept the chibi looking artwork, but we've kind of changed the layout of the cards, kind of adding the characters to the numbers.
Okay.
So that part will look a little bit different. So we're delving in the dungeon. So we'll go through 3 different dungeons. This is one example that we start with. So all of us will pick a number. So here's the hit point value to destroy this is 14.
Okay.
We're all laying a card down to fight against it. All the players reveal. Well, perfect example. Any duplicate cards will cancel out. Okay? If we equaled enough hit points to kill it, whoever used the weakest hits will get the rewards.
Oh, okay.
But if they tied, but in this case, if we didn't get to 14, whoever played the weakest has to give up whatever gems they have the most of into the pot. So they're losing. So
okay,
it's
gotcha.
kind of that balance of you want to be low, but if you're
But you
too
gotta beat
cheap
it.
at it, you got to beat the monster.
Right.
If you don't, you're going to pay the penalty.
All right.
So you play 3 dungeon delves and. Yeah, it plays
That's
about
it.
20 minutes. Really fast, really fun. We've had a lot of success here at GAMA with retailers are eating this game up. So
Gotcha. So this is going to Kickstarter?
it has been. It's done
Okay.
out, releasing in July. So
Gotcha.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Any other news you want to tell us about? That's a lot. But
That's a lot. No. I think.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. We're good.
Well, it's good talking to you.
You
As
too.
always. Thank
Always
you for
good.
joining us.
Thank you.
All right, and everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you.
See, I thought I had talked to you guys about this, and yesterday Tom came over and he's like, "This is awesome."
We're gonna bring you over for the internet.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring these
He
over
showed me how to play, and
to
he's
show
like,
them.
I thought that
People are interested.
Yeah?
So that's why I decided to bring it today.
Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
okay.
No, I'm sure.
Come join us.
You're showing it off. That's good stuff.
I'm gonna bring these
That
over.
Captain Carcass looks great.
Okay. Garbage cans. I know you guys have questions about the size of these. Oh, let's look at these components with the holes close up now. While we have a second here. And let's sit down and yeah. So the holes are kind of, as you can see there, the 2 holes at the top. That's what he was talking about, where you put it down and you have to lay it on top. And the holes seem to be in the same spot on everything. Interestingly enough, what kind of garbage can do you have, Sam? I have one, like a plastic one, like a green one like this now. Well, not this shape, but mine's green. Do they still make tin can garbage cans?
Yeah, they do.
I haven't seen one in forever, like since I was a kid growing up in the 70s.
Right.
But the Kickstarter version is very cool. It's just, I think most people have the green ones now.
Yeah. I got the ones like a square.
Yeah, mine's a
lid
square with the
flips
lid, but it's green colors, like it's green plastic, not a silver tin.
FC Ryan.
We were just commenting about that most people now have the plastic style. Obviously, like mine's the one that flips up like this, but I've hardly ever seen the tin garbage cans anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of a throwback, right?
Yes,
I see
exactly. The limited edition one, the 1970s version of a garbage can.
All right, so just some questions from these guys that are posting. What were your gaming influences growing up?
Dabbled a little D&D. We played a lot of Axis and Allies.
Yeah.
We played a lot of Axis and Allies. We only finished 2 games out of 8 years I've played Axis and Allies. Forces America, Shogun, which is now Yakuza. Yeah, I played a lot of Shogun. My aunt I had an aunt that always sent us these different hobby games that you couldn't find in stores, so that would always pique my interest too, because we'd get these different games for Christmas and play those. But so a lot of different I don't know if that answered the question.
No, yeah, that's good. That's good. Any more games in the Viceroy realm in the future?
Not by us. we have something in the works, but there's another publisher that is also going to be diving in the Viceroy realm. But we do have a couple things in the works that I'm not at liberty to talk about yet. But yes, it's a beautiful realm, right? With the artwork and everything like that. So.
What about expansions for Viceroy?
Yes, we have some expansion stuff in the works for that as well. So there's actually. With the Kickstarter on Garbage Day, there's actually an expansion, a promo Viceroy card that has holes in it. So you can play it for Viceroy and you can play it for Garbage Day. So.
That's
what?
Yeah.
That's cool.
My mind's blown again.
Will Mayday begin carrying more Crokinole bags?
We have bags. We have bags in stock now. The boards are kind of where we're in limbo. We've actually moved factories again. This is our third factory. I know they're a lower-end, affordable board is what we provide, but we're just trying to get factories to get a few things right. So unfortunately, it looks like 2017 at this point to get the boards. But we do have the bags in stock.
You are stocked with bags, right? Okay.
Bags.
This is a question. Do retailers and distributors have a problem with these custom containers, and is it harder to sell them than it would be to have a more generic container?
We do hear that from the retailers, especially here at GAMA. We offer two versions to retailers. We have the garbage can just shrink, and we also have one that's in a clamshell with a peg, so they can hang it up. So that one seems to be, because we've heard, because even with our tins, right, the Get Bit tin can be hard for some retailers. So we're trying to be a little more friendly with the packaging. So we do have a clamshell that retailers prefer.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the sort of layout there.
Okay.
Stacking, that's a game in a game.
Yes.
All right, last question. What is your favorite family game that you produce?
That we produce?
Yeah.
Oof. It is Coconuts.
Coconuts?
But I'm loving, I mean, it feels like I'm plugging in. Dungeon Busters is a lot of fun. But Coconuts, because it reaches everybody, right?
Yeah.
Grandma can play Coconuts. My 6-year-old daughter plays Coconuts, right? So
it's got a very enveloping theme on it.
Coconuts is great. All those little games that you brought over, the one with the tree where you're chopping off the tree bits, those are great little games.
Yeah. As long as you don't eat the coconuts, right? So that's, I think I've told this before on another channel, but on Hong Kong Toy Fair, we were there demoing coconuts, and an adult gentleman walked up to the table while we were playing and grabbed some and popped them in his mouth and turned around and walked away. So we all had a good laugh because he probably quickly realized that wasn't chocolate, but he's not going to turn around and come back and spit them out and put them on the table. So we just laughed at him walking away because I'm sure he realized really quick that wasn't food.
Great.
But why would we be playing with food? I was thinking, why was he going in his mind to think, oh, this
I've played
interesting
poker with M&Ms
experience.
before, so it's not that far-fetched. But all right, well, thanks, Ryan, for coming by. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thanks.
Pass this all along back to you.
All right, go ahead. I think that's it.
And now we're going to flip it back to Z with our next guest.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Alrighty. Hello, interwebs.
And I'm rolling on both cameras whenever you're ready.
Okay, cool. Everything's good on the mics over there?
I think so. Yeah, we're going to change batteries after.
Okay, cool. You got it. All right, so I'm going to clap just to get an audio-visual sync. Okay, good? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I am here with Rhea from Steve Jackson Games. Good to have you, Rhea. And we are taking a look here at a very pink game with many little cats on it. What is this?
So this is Simon's Cat the Card Game. So this is based off of Simon Tofield's web series with the 68 million views. If you haven't seen it yet, it is so adorable. Like, just, I mean, it's just the most mischievous animals, especially the cat. This is kind of like his signature, iconic, like, hey, I made a mess, now feed me, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
He's such a mischievous. And then here's the Simon cards. So Simon is also
featured in the game as well. And these are blame tokens. So you don't want to get blamed.
So these are blame tokens. You don't want those.
You don't want those.
All right.
This is Mischief. This is the Mischief deck. When we play the game, we will shuffle the Mischief deck.
Like a pro.
And, I mean, we're in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And the Mischief deck has several different suits.
Okay.
With different ranges on them. So the most common suit is going to be your pink. It ranges from 3 to 12.
Okay.
Then you've got your gnome, which is just 1 and 2. And then you've got some other suits in here, which feature the different animals. So you've got kittens. You have the mouse, the rat. Actually,
Cool. So what are we doing with all this stuff?
So we are making messes.
Okay. Let's make some messes and
so
avoid these blame tokens.
Yes. So
How do we make a mess?
So we will have a hand.
Alrighty.
An equal number of cards. I'm gonna have an imaginary third player over here.
I will beat that player.
I don't know. The last time I had an imaginary third player, we both lost to the imaginary player.
It's the worst for confidence boost.
All right.
All right. So this is our hand of cards.
That's our hand of cards.
Alrighty.
So you look at it.
All right. I'm looking. Ooh, a hedgehog is super cute.
Oh yes.
All right.
If you haven't seen it, I would definitely see the episode with the hedgehog and the leaves. The cat throws leaves on his spikes, and then he runs around the rest of the show, chasing him down.
Got it.
And
All right.
that's my favorite one. So we are both looking for the pink 3. That's what's gonna kind of kick this off. It's the
Always
three
the
of
pink
cat.
3 is the one that kicks it off.
Yep.
Okay, I don't have it.
You don't
I
have
bet
it.
I know who has it.
Imaginary friend has it.
For the win again.
All right. Meow. Oh, I forgot to mention that you have to make cat noises. As you
Hard pass on that, but you go ahead.
All right. So you want to match either color or number.
Okay, color or number. And so do we take turns to do that? Is this a speed game? How does it work?
Take turns. Yeah.
We take
so
turns.
It's your turn.
So color or number, and I'm going to play that, which is the same color as the first cat.
Right. No. And then you're gonna want to do it by the end of this.
I don't think
You're
so.
missing out.
Okay, and so what is the objective of the game here as we discard these cards?
So the objective of the game is to not take this trick. Whoever is the first person to not be able to
So basically,
play.
if you're unable to play, got it.
Yep.
So let's say I'm unable to play. I could probably play, but let's say I'm unable to play. Now what?
So this goes out in front of you. This is one mess.
Okay.
Regardless of how many cards, it could be 12, it could be 2.
Okay.
One mess.
Got it.
At the end of the round, when we've gone through all the cards,
Mm-hmm.
whoever has the most messes will get a blame token.
Okay.
First person to 3 blame.
So we shuffle up, do it again. If you get 3 of these,
You
that's
lose. Yep.
game over. And now is
You
this?
get the blame for the.
Do you lose and
goal.
everybody else wins? Is
Yep.
it one of those things?
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's not really about winning.
It's
just
about not being the loser.
not losing.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. When is this going to be available?
So this one's going to be available early this summer. So June.
Okay. And MSRP on this?
About $6.95.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tiny little package.
Yeah, it's.
Alrighty, there we go. Let's put that mess away. And what else have you got to show us?
So I've just got a couple other things I just wanted to kind of show without going
Okay,
too
cool.
much
Ogre.
detail. So this is set in the same universe as Ogre.
Okay.
If you've seen the Kickstarter for Hill 218, you'll be very familiar with the gameplay of this. Just like Ogre, it's very tactical. It's 2 players. It's a great fit for this universe just because it has that like post-apocalyptic feel to it. So it's Brandon Moore did the art for this, and he did a very gorgeous job of it. So I don't know if there's a way we can.
Yeah, we can show a couple of
show
these. The
some of
camera will
art.
catch them up there, and we'll just display a little bit. Why don't you tell me just briefly how the game works for those folks out there that haven't, played or seen the Hill 218.
Yeah, so just a quick overview is we are facing off against each other. We'll have a
Right.
hand with different breakdowns of utilities that we can use. They'll be kind of laid out here, and then we move them based on these different aspects here to either attack or target and So it's
Right,
very,
so
like I
supply
said,
here means you can play into there or attack or targeting a place, and so the grid will let you know how the card
yes,
operates, basically.
operates and interacts as you're attacking.
It's almost like a little miniatures game
But
with
in
these
card form.
cards.
Yep,
Gotcha.
exactly.
About how long is the game play?
I played it in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes or so,
20,
just for
30
two
minutes.
players, right?
Yeah.
So when
but
is this going to be? When is it going to be available?
Also available this summer. So
Okay.
this one is June. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah, this will
MSRP?
be- This one will be a little bit more than the other one. It's about $19.95.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does have really nice hard work. What else? I'll let you take that apart. I don't want to
Yeah.
mess it up.
No
What else have you
worries.
guys got on the horizon for us?
Well, we've got a couple other things. There is a Moop game that's coming out this summer that was just announced here.
Okay.
And it is in the same universe as Munchkin. It plays, it mixes in just like Munchkin. It's a Munchkin game.
Mhm.
It is illustrated by Ian McGinty, who
Okay.
does a lot of the comics, the Munchkin comics. He did the first guest artist edition.
Okay, cool.
It is adorable. Like the art on it is just, I mean, I'm a sucker for adorable art. I'll be the first to admit. And we also have our guest artist edition series that is continuing out. Katie Cook's is coming up, which is the Cthulhu, and it is, again,
Cool,
sucker
cool.
for adorable.
Yes, good.
So those are some other Munchkin things that are coming out. We also have I Hate Zombies coming out this summer.
Okay.
It is, if you're familiar with the BGG Kickstarter.
Right.
Yes.
That they did, yeah.
And so now it's going to be in a little box about this size, and so that'll be available in stores. It's such a fun social game, right?
Right. Very lightning
you
quick,
wouldn't-
sort of. I mean, it's like based around rock paper scissors with zombies. It's very
Yes,
simple and quick, right?
Exactly. And I mean, you wouldn't think rock paper scissors could be so loud and boisterous, but it is. So,
It is.
That's kind of the fun and appeal of that one.
Cool. Anything else?
Let me think if there's anything else I'm missing. Oh yes, there's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which is coming out soon as well.
Cool.
It's a board game. It has a lot of I should just start with the kind of the theme of the game. So in the game, you are Bill and Ted. Each person is a different alternate universe version of them.
Got it. Cool.
Of course.
So
And
each player has both Bill and Ted?
well, you're in the phone booth. You're
Okay.
in the phone booth, going through time to finish your oral history exam.
Okay, right.
And so you're collecting persons of historical significance to do this. And they're going to mess with your booth in different ways for each person that you add in. So it gets
Got it.
more and more difficult as you go on.
Is there a little bit of take that among the players? Can you like mess other people over, that sort of thing?
You can. So there's some sort of baddies that come out, and if they hit your phone booth, you'll lose some historical figures, and that can be really bad because now your booth that was being messed up in a way you were expecting is now being messed up in a way that you're not expecting.
Gotcha.
So you can have some control over how those guys are moving, but that's tied to how you moves too. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
When can we expect to see that?
You're also going to see that coming out later this summer. Yeah.
Okay. You guys have a very busy summer then.
I have a very busy summer. I'm excited.
All right.
I love having all these out.
Cool. Ria, good talking to you. Thanks
Thank
so much.
you so much, Thea. It was awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bring you over for the
Thank
audience.
you. Thank
Yeah, you
you.
bet.
And
People are going to want to.
Everyone's been saying excellent wild stallions. We've been getting a lot of comments on that already.
I'm sure people are going to want to know more, even more about that. So. No, they have their own over there.
Well, you just heard some really cool breaking news, or interesting news. Bill and Ted game, which I can already see lots of comments. Oh, also green things. That's another good question. So our audience has a whole bunch of questions for you that as they've watched your interview.
Okay.
But Bill and Ted's, tell us more about it. We're excited.
Yeah. Okay. So it is a programming game at its core, but you have I like programming games just because I like the element of like, oh, you have to move this way, but I'm not great at them because sometimes like, oh, that was left.
Right.
But it's the way that it's executed is just so like light and elegant that it just, oh, I go off the board here, and now even though I turned the wrong way, I still got some benefit, or didn't run into somebody I didn't want to run into, and so it's really fun. I like it a lot.
Okay, we just have a few questions here that apologize if we kind of shotgun this, but
No, go for it.
All right, so is there any possibility of Illuminati reprint or redesign?
Any possibility? I can say that we're not currently working on that.
Okay.
But I mean, anything's
Maybe.
it's possible,
Yeah,
right?
gotcha.
I mean,
Right.
we're definitely not going to say no if suddenly
There's this big draw
there's
for it.
yeah. I mean,
Gotcha. All right, are there any big games like the Revolution size games in the works for the future?
yeah. So I would put Bill and Ted's probably around that. I mean, it's not in as big a box, but I think when you look at the components and
Is that
things that
scope?
go in it, it's a similar level scope
All right.
of game. Yeah, I did like Revolution a lot.
It's going to be more for Revolution. Speaking of Revolution,
Yeah.
and you just put out another expansion for it recently. Is there anything more that you have planned for the game?
We don't currently have anything more planned for Revolution right now.
Any plans for a Car Wars with minis version?
Trying to remember exactly what I'm allowed to say there.
Well, that isn't an answer in and of itself.
Yeah.
You realize that.
Yeah, so we've hinted at, I think, some things in the presentations to retailers.
Okay.
There is, we all know the Car Wars 6 edition is coming out. We aren't doing it this year. We're looking at pushing it a little bit farther just because we want to do it right.
Okay.
When Car Wars comes out, we want it to be done.
Yeah, do it.
We
right.
want it to be executed properly.
Right.
And I've gotten to play some of Scott's like prototypes. I'm super excited. It's very like clean. It's not like it still has very much the feel of old school Car Wars, but it's not like roll and look at tables and things
Gotcha.
like that.
Okay. What about a deluxe version of Awful Green Things from Outer Space?
That's not something we're looking at doing, but we are still keeping that one in stock and supporting it. So.
Will we ever see Munchkin on Tabletop Simulator?
On Tabletop Simulator. A lot of people I think have asked that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that we're currently looking at. We might, find a way to do it in our own way, but it's not something we're currently looking at.
Okay. And finally, are there any new expansions on the horizon for Zombie Dice?
For Zombie Dice, the school bus wasn't enough. There aren't any that are like coming up super soon, but that's definitely something that could happen.
Could happen.
Yeah, I mean people like some zombie dice.
Yeah. One more very quick question that I saw go by since everyone's mind blown by Bill and Ted's here. Is it going to just focus on the Excellent Adventure, or is there also going to bogus journey stuff in it?
This one is focused on the movie, The Excellent Adventure.
Not bogus journey at all, or will that be an expansion, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey expansion?
I just know that right now we're focused on the Excellent Adventure.
Excellent.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So right now they're focused on the first movie, but that doesn't mean there won't be the second movie coming out eventually.
They heard that, buddy.
Anyway, I see Andrew Looney
Thank you
in
so much
his
for coming in.
typical
Thank you
Looney
so
outfit.
much. Yeah.
So let's go toss it back to Eric with the doctor, professor.
I'll do it once we get both cameras rolling. I'm going to do a quick clap just for audio syncing. Of course. Don't be startled in any way.
I am actually very easily startled.
Are you?
But
Well, then that's
I'll
good that
try
I
not to
warned
jump
you.
when you when you do it.
All right, you guys ready?
I am.
Both cameras are going. Hi, and welcome back to Las Vegas for our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I'm Eric Summer here with Andy Looney from Looney Labs. Hello, sir.
Hi there. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Now, there are 3 games I'm very excited about. Real quickly, what are we looking at?
Well, these are our March releases.
Yeah.
So this month we're bringing out an Ugly Doll themed version of our hit Lunacy game. We've got the Firefly version of our biggest hit, Flux, coming out tomorrow. And then at the end of the month, we're doing a Mad Libs game based on the classic Mad Libs. And it's super fun.
It looks cool. I'm excited.
It captures all the fun of Mad Libs in a card party game.
I think you just made up a new word. It's a new party game.
It's a party game. But I don't want to talk about any of these things. I want to talk about this. Pyramid Arcade. This is the coolest thing I've ever made, and I am so excited about it, and I want to just show off all the amazing goodness that's going to be inside this gigantic box of fun.
Oh my goodness.
So Pyramid Arcade is the culmination of 25 years of design effort that I've been working on, using these incredible gaming pyramids. So
and these have been known as Ice House Pyramids.
Ice House Pyramids is originally created for a game called Ice House, and then we've started making up lots of other games for them. We call them Looney Pyramids now, and you will get this box of 90 pyramids and 22 games and everything you need to play all of the games in this amazing set. So you will get 90 pyramids. You'll also get 9 dice. Some of these are custom interesting dice. Some of them are regular dice. You'll get a whole bunch of different game boards. Big boards like this this folding World War V board that I can't get up in there. The World War V board on one side has a Martian chessboard on the other side.
Of course it does.
You've got a beautiful volcano board, and then this, the long-awaited wheel used for a game called Petri Dish. Then there will be a square deck of cards with 5 suits used for Zark City. You'll have a bunch of little boards, like these Ludo boards and other boards. The round boards have games on both sides. There'll be another little deck of cards for Twin Win. There'll be a coin in here. There'll be a drawstring bag that you can carry your pyramids around in.
And this insert is like multiple deckers and weird
yeah, well, these are all
tiers and-
designed to hold the pyramids in a beautiful way, and then there's a big compartment there. And then most interesting of all is this. Let me just set this aside.
Yeah, go ahead.
And show you these. These cards, there will be one of these interesting looking cards for every game in the set. And so you can kind of deal them out on that side. But on the back, they each have full details on all the games. So the first thing you do when you go into the arcade is you have to decide what game you want to play.
Of course, so you could just shuffle them up.
You could, absolutely. You could just pick one totally at random. But they're set up with information on them about how many players they need, whether they're short or fast games, so you can sort of winnow down the selection. Well, we only have 2 players, so we'll take out all the games that aren't for 2 players, things like that. Actually, most of them work for 2 players. Some work for as many as 10. There's one solitaire game in here called Color Wheel. And this is just, it's as I say, it's the culmination of many years of design effort.
Wow.
And I'm so excited about it. It's got 16 games that are proven classics.
Okay.
That we've developed from.
So ones that have appeared in books or online or just have already shown up before.
And then there are 6 new games that I've been building away for as long as 6 years in some cases.
Wow.
Basically saving up to make this set. One of those is called Petri Dish, which uses the amazing board and these interesting dice called lightning dice. And this is really a really cool game, and one that I've been sitting on deliberately to hold back so it could be featured in a set like this. And since then I've done another game for this called Color Wheel and several other games that I've been saving up so that there'll be a lot of greatness in here.
Wow. So when can we get hands on this?
This is
box
going to
of
be,
fun?
we're launching this on Kickstarter on April 5th.
Okay.
And then it will ship, basically, we're just about ready to send it all off to the printer as soon as we know how many we need to make.
Okay.
And also, of course, it's going to have a comprehensive rule book. It won't be bound like this. It'll be a real one.
It'll be like a
but
regular
like
bound
a
one.
magazine style.
Yeah.
But this has all the details on all the various games in the set, along with a bunch of historical information and a lot of other details about the pyramids. And
wow, I can tell you're excited about it.
I am so excited. I mean, really, it is something I've been wanting to do for so long, and something, I mean, basically over the years, as we've tinkered up new games for the system, we will release each new game, kind of just send it out whenever hey, everybody, here's a new game. Lately, we've been holding them back, like I say. But we've also, over the years, brought out each new set, like, here's a game set about this game, and kind of retool it around the new game as we come up with it. And what people have been wanting is a comprehensive set
Right.
that gives you everything you need for all the games, quote unquote,
Right.
all the games. Now, of course, there is no all the games
Right.
because there's
It's a system.
more like it's a system. More games are coming up all the time. There's close to 500 games that have been invented at this point.
And
By
those are
fans
mostly
and so
available
forth.
on your website.
Oh yeah, there's a site called iceHouseGames.org that people post these rules to. I've designed 29 games myself.
Okay.
But most of them are, there's a vast supply of games designed by people that are fans just creating their own games, and most of them I haven't even played myself. And indeed, most of the ones that are in this set are designed by me. But one of the things that's neat is that the back of the book will have a list of 22 other games that are popular games that have actually been chosen by the fans of the system.
Oh.
They're voting on it right now, actually.
Okay.
To choose which 22 other games should be listed.
Sort of links to, if you liked these, try these.
Yeah, and then here's others, and some of them you need to get other equipment that wouldn't be in the box. One of the things that's great about the box is that it's got everything you need for all the games, so you can open up the arcade and jump right in and play any game in the set. But some of the other games that you'll hear about, you'll go, oh, well, I need some other stuff for that game.
Right.
Now, I want to address a specific one, which is Zendo.
Yes.
Zendo is one of the most popular games for the system, and it will not actually be included in this set.
Okay.
There's a couple of reasons for that. One is that it's just too big for this set.
Right.
The bottom line is that this set will have 10 different colors and 3 trios of each of those colors.
Okay.
And that's not actually right. That's not an ideal set for Zendo.
You need sort of
Zendo,
smaller
you want
numbers.
fewer colors and more pieces of each color.
Yeah.
An optimal Zendo set is going to have 5 or 6 dashes, trios of each color.
Yeah.
And so we're saving Zendo for next. We're going to do another box set like this.
Okay.
Next year, there will be a Zendo-oriented set, and
So-
that will
with
have
more games that use that
and
assortment of
exactly.
pieces.
In fact, a bunch of the other games that we can include here are ones that just need more pieces of each color. I've been designing the games in here, I've discovered that the sweet spot for me is, as I have it here, 3 trios of each color. And most of the games in here use 3 trios or fewer. But there are plenty of other games that were designed in the older days when the old stash was 15 or 5 trios of each
Right,
color.
yeah.
And that's standard. Some of those games, another of my real favorites is called Rambots.
Yes.
And it's designed by the same guy who did Zendo, actually. And it also needs more pyramids of each color and fewer colors, really. And like a full chessboard and screens. And like Zendo needs the stones and the cards. And there's just all this other stuff. So basically,
we can look forward to a Pyramid Arcade
next
2.
year, Pyramid Arcade 2, the Zendo collection, is what we're looking at doing.
That sounds fascinating. I'm excited. As are you.
Oh, I can barely contain my enthusiasm.
It's
I'm
true.
so excited.
Andy Looney, thank you so much. For
Thank you so
stopping
much,
by.
and checking out my amazing pyramid set.
Thank you for watching.
Hey guys.
This is like, but wait, there's more.
If you want and have time, we can do a short Q&A over there while we
Yeah,
get the next
yeah,
person
yeah.
set up.
And we're gonna bring this over to show everyone. This is like everything. This is like the super duper. I have so many of these sets, but this is like the super duper version of it.
And that's what we're trying to make.
And look how gorgeous, everyone. Look at that. Look how gorgeous it is.
And there'll be a sticker, but I'm still arguing. I don't know.
Oh, right there.
Okay, while Andrew comes over, let's look at some ice house pieces, or I guess now they're called Looney pyramids.
I have a question about the dice. Are they edged? Yes, they are edged.
Yes, they're etched.
The dice are edged. They're not printed or painted.
And each die, like different dice, like this is one of the games where you actually, it shows you which, you roll it for your pyramid, so there's different pyramids on different sides. These pyramids, I picked out clear, the worst color to pick out. Let's pick out purple. So the way they work is there's 3 different pyramids, and you have a small size, which fits in a medium size, which fits in a large size. And the large ones have 3 dots, the mediums have 2 dots, and the small ones have 1 dot. So, and you can do all sorts of games, and you literally you play on the board, and you're taking these and you're stacking them on top of each other and doing all sorts of things. This is like a rainbow of them here. Love it, love it.
Okay, so the first question is, what is the MSRP for this?
$77.
77. Okay.
which is a lot, but it's worth it because you get so much in here.
Yeah.
And in fact, with 22 completely different games in this set, it comes out to only $3.50 a game. So you're not just buying a game; you're buying a library of games.
Yeah, gotcha. That's good. All right. Are there other versions of Flux set for the future?
Nothing set. I have as many unpublished designs in my queue as we have published, but
Right.
We haven't committed to what the next one will be, so I can't announce anything.
All right, gotcha. What is your dream IP for Flux?
Well, we get a lot of requests for Doctor Who, and I have a fully designed Doctor Who prototype worked out.
Okay.
It's just a matter of getting the licensing permissions necessary to do it.
Right.
So there's that one. Harry Potter is another popular choice.
Right.
I have never designed it, but Star Trek, I could do a whole Star Trek one. I mean, with Star Flux, we went the parody route.
Right.
For years, we were like, well, if we could get Star Trek or Star Wars, which one would we rather do? And for me, I'm a Trekkie, so it's not really a debate.
Right.
But both of them are difficult licenses, obviously.
Right.
So the idea of just combining them into one parody style actually worked out really, really well. And in fact, Star Flux is probably still my favorite version of Flux.
Cool.
But a Star Trek one would be fun. Actually, what I would really do with Star Trek is a adaptation of my game Chrononauts, the time travel card game, and I would call that Chrono Trek, and that would be really, really cool.
Okay.
Oh
Cool.
yeah, that would be cool.
Have you ever tried getting the Looney Tunes IP for one of your games?
No, I haven't really thought about that one. I tend to shy away from that over the years because of the similarity of my name. It's
Right.
like, we're not Looney Tunes. No, we're not that. Don't
okay.
associate us
Okay.
with that.
All right.
But I suppose if it dropped in my lap, I'd have to do it. Yeah, I could certainly design a Looney Tunes game in my sleep. I sometimes joke that. I can do the Flux game in my sleep now, and I'll wake up in the morning one day and it'll just be there next to my pillow. Like,
Yeah.
oh hey, I designed it.
Let's go back to the pyramids for
Absolutely.
a second while we're waiting on some more questions. So I know you had, I had gotten Ice House back in the day, which came with a lot of pyramids, and you have the big book that you have. Is the book still available, and will the book come in either this version or the Zendo version, or will people still be able to buy the book separately as the book of the lots and lots of games?
Well, the book, there's a couple books you refer to. One is called Playing with Pyramids, which we did around 2002. And then a couple of years, with last few years, we've brought out more of a magazine binder of rules called Pyramid Primer. And both of those are kind of obsolete, frankly, in my book, because a lot of the games that are included in those have been represented in the book that's going to be in here. I mean, this book here will have 22 games, and basically all of the best games from
Black
that
Ice,
original
I just
book.
saw that. Ooh.
Which one?
Black Ice.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Basically, the games that were in that original book that are worth continuing to remember and play are either re-implemented here or will be in the future one that I'm talking about that has Zendo in it. I don't envision a reprint of the original book. I don't think we sold through all of them either, so I think I still got a box of them in my attic. But if there was interested in that, I could pull it out. But this kind of basically supersedes that book.
Yes.
And now, will this book be available separately? I imagine we'll let several of the elements that are in the box be sold a la carte because there'll be demand for them. One of the other things we're planning is an everything but the pyramids option for the Kickstarter, so that for people who already have all the pyramids but just want all the other stuff, they'll be able to fund to the level that gets them basically the box with everything except the pyramids in it. You put your own pyramids. But I'm still going to recommend you get the new ones because one of the things, these are the new, slightly rounder tipped pyramids.
Oh, look at that. Those are
They'll
nice.
pass European safety testing finally.
Oh, really?
And actually,
that was one of the questions that I was going to get to.
yeah. These are the third generation of the pyramids.
Cool.
They interact
really
perfectly with the
nice.
old ones, but they will pass safety testing now. So.
Okay, one final question.
Yeah.
Is there anything new coming from Chrononauts?
Sorry to say, I don't have anything on the horizon for Chrononauts yet. It's very near and dear to my heart, and I'd love to get back to that, but it's really challenging. Designing a timeline is one of the hardest design work I've done, and sometimes I just kind of have to wait for more history to roll by to see what I would want want to do. I'd like to do an early, like a Renaissance era Chrononauts timeline, but I just don't know enough about the history right now. I still have to find time to research that.
Let me ask you one last question about the pyramids.
Yeah.
In addition to the box, will you still sell those little mini pyramids that come with a few pyramids, or will those be done and it'll just be the big box now?
Treehouse, Ice Dice and Treehouse may fade out because they're kind of replaced here, but the pink set, the pink bag with
Yeah,
pink
that was
hijinks.
the breast cancer one. That
The
was
pink one has, there are no pink pyramids in here, so the pink one will probably live on as available, as a way to get the 11th color, and as a fun little one.
Yes, well, thank you so much for coming here.
My pleasure. Thank you so much
Appreciate
for
it. Stopping
checking
by.
out all my stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes, well, you're always a blast.
Well, I try to be entertaining. I think I am.
Let's go back over. I see Gloomhaven over there with Eric, so let's go see what's going on.
Thank you.
All right. Hello, the internet is back with us.
You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. We are rolling on both cameras. Sorry. Can you both scoot to the left a little bit? Not
Sure.
your right. Your right.
Yeah, the direction you're
Eric,
pointing.
and maybe Isaac just a little bit more. There you go. Okay. Now you're.
Okay.
Now
But
we're
should I be looking at any specific place? Oh, well, just in front? the audience is there, and then you can talk to me. I'm here too. Right. All right. Hello, and welcome back to the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I'm Eric Summerer, here with Isaac from Cephalofair Games.
That's right.
Yes. It's a mouthful. We're looking at Gloomhaven.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So Gloomhaven is a cooperative tactical combat game set in a unique fantasy world that I've created. And in it, so you're going to be playing as a group of sort of down on their luck mercenaries, just sort of wandering around this expansive open world, just exploring ruins and going through different scenarios, unlocking more scenarios and unlocking new character classes and going through events. I don't know, it's a big, massive game, just
Okay.
sort of sandboxy.
What kind of playtime you're looking at here?
Well, each scenario itself, so it's sort of broken up by scenarios, and each one of those is about half an hour per player.
Okay.
So and it goes from 1 to 4 players. So like a 4-player game would take about 2 hours.
Okay. General mechanics, how do things work here?
Yeah. So within a scenario, you're going to be playing a specific character class, and there are 17 different character classes in the game. They all play completely differently from each other. But they all focus on the same mechanics where you have a deck of cards, and you have access to all these cards at all times. Well, not all times, but there's no draw deck or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So every round you're gonna be taking 2 of these cards to play, and then they're gonna get discarded. So you have fewer and fewer cards to play with each round until you have to rest to pick them all back up. But by resting, you're gonna actually be losing cards as well. And sort of the goal of the scenario is to get through it before you run out of cards.
Okay.
Right, so you're going to be losing cards over time. And another way you can lose cards is like by playing super powerful abilities on the cards. If it has like an X symbol, then that means you automatically
Discard this
lose
to
it.
do something really cool.
Yeah. So you have 2 cards. I should probably put that there. Each card has 2 abilities on it, and what you're going to do each round once it becomes your turn, and the number in the middle sort of determines when it's your turn.
Ah.
Lower numbers go first.
Gotcha.
So it has sort of a built-in initiative system. You're going to be performing the bottom ability of one card and the top ability of the other card. So you sort of have a plan in mind when you're picking your cards, which you have to do in secret. Like you can communicate general ideas to your team members, but you can't show them cards. It's sort of just to negate an alpha player just taking over and saying, you do that and you do that.
Okay.
But then when it becomes your turn, if you're going later in the round, maybe things have changed. And so even once you have your cards, you have decisions on what you can actually do with your cards.
Right.
And each card also has a default ability of move to or attack to. So
Mhm.
even if you get totally screwed up and can't do what you want at all, you can still do something on your turn.
Right.
So that's the basic mechanics. You also have item cards that you can play during your turn as well. But the mechanics are pretty simple. It's basically moving and attacking, but with this twist of cards, every single card in the game is different. So you're always going to have lots of decisions to make about what you want to do on your turn. Anytime you attack, you also are going to flip over one of these attack modifier cards, and well, we got lucky there. So
hey, nice.
That would just an attack 3 would do 3 points of damage to a monster, but if you flip over ×2, then you do 6 points.
Sounds good to me.
And monsters are fully automated, so they're determined by a statistics card. And this looks complicated, but it's really not. This is for different levels of the monsters. So if you're doing like a level 1 scenario, you basically just ignore all that and just look at that. And these will be put in sleeves, so that's
so
all
you
covered
only
up.
see
so
the
you
one
only see that.
side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so monsters have a basic health value, move value, attack value. And what's also cool though is that they have a behavior deck. So each round they're going to flip over one of these cards. And that's also going to give
Gives them an
initiative.
yep.
And then they're going to move and attack maybe base sort of, with bonuses or negatives to their base stats. But they can also do other crazy things like just sort of shield up and heal themselves. And each monster has a different behavior deck. And so no matter what you're facing, it's always going to be a little different. You got to sort of learn how to play against them. And it's like I said, it's a big game. There's actually about 50 different monster types, including 13 different bosses, 95 scenarios in the scenario book. So this is it's a big, giant, just sandbox world that you can explore and have
And are
fun in.
these pewter minis what you're going to have in the game?
There'll be plastic minis in the game.
Okay.
Those are just the masters that we're making the molds out
Gotcha.
of. And these are the 6 starting characters, and then you have another 11 characters that you get to unlock over the course of playing the game. And each one just has, just beautiful artwork associated with it. Really happy with my artists, and I think, everything in the game I think looks beautiful.
How soon will we see Gloomhaven?
We're working on like August, September.
Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to have it out by Gen Con. That's probably not going to happen at this point.
You might be showing it off there, though?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have a booth. I'll be showing it off to anybody who wants to see it at Gen Con, definitely.
Wonderful. Isaac, thank you very much for spending some time with us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for watching.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring stuff over.
All right.
I can even help you. I can pack this up for you while you head over there.
Let's get your microphone
Unless
off
you
at
want
the
them in
same
specific
time.
bags, I guess is the question.
There you go.
I'm gonna bring the map over to show some stuff while we wait. Bringing the map over for you guys. And here we are back at our little behind the scenes section. That was Gloomhaven. And let's look at the map. The map's that's a gorgeous looking map, I think. What do you think, Sam? Really nice looking map.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
What else does the company make? Forge Wars. That was their, I guess, their first game, right? Did they make a game before that? I don't think so. Forge Wars and Gloomhaven are their 2 games. That was for Trevin, in case you wanted to know. Forge Wars was their other game.
Come on, have a seat.
All right. Sam, nice to meet you.
Chaz.
Do we have any, let's see, first of all, will there be any Forge Wars expansions?
Catalyst is late.
I'm not really planning on any at this point. I mean, I have ideas, but yeah, working on it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future. What's the MSRP for Gloomhaven?
It's going to be 120.
120?
Yeah. It's a box bigger than this box.
Okay.
There's just a lot of stuff in there.
A lot of stuff, right? All right. Were those minis the production? Or were they still not finalized yet?
Well, yeah, it's the final sculpts. They'll just be plastic instead of the pewter.
Instead of the pewter, okay.
Yeah.
Plastic instead of pewter. Will Gloomhaven be available in the European Union?
Oh yeah, it should be. So I distribute through Impressions, and they deal with pretty much all major distributors. So yeah, it should show up there.
It should. Okay, good. Let's see here. Do you see? We was Forge Wars was your first game? Is that correct?
Yes.
And this is your second.
Yep.
Do you have any other titles that are out there?
Nope.
No.
Just
Okay.
those 2 for now.
All
And
right.
I'm working on new games.
All right. Let's see here. Just going back to see if there's any other that I missed. And kind
So,
of a.
I
Go
know
ahead.
people have been asking all along what kind of influenced you to get in, and what games influenced you to get into the industry.
You know, I'm a big fan of like heavy Euro games. So yeah, that's what I play. That's what I've been playing for many years. And you know, so yeah, I basically got into the industry because of my first game. I was just sort of designing it for fun, and then it ended up doing really well on Kickstarter. So yeah, I just sort of decided to pursue it from there.
Okay.
The Forge War was influenced mainly by I'd say like Trajan, with sort of the spatial reasoning component of that with like the Makala beads. I really like that aspect, so I tried to incorporate spatial reasoning into Forge War as well.
Okay.
And then Tzolk'in with like the time resolved actions of like placing stuff and then waiting for it. That's sort of the main influence behind like the quest system in Forge War. So.
Okay. Is it too late to make pledges? And if so, how can they get a copy?
Yeah, no, if you go to my website or even if you go to the Kickstarter page, there's still a pre-order button.
Okay.
So you can pre-order. It's a little more expensive than it was during the Kickstarter, but yeah, it's still available.
Okay. Let's see. They're asking for a close-up on the minis.
Sure.
Could we pull them out?
Yeah. And I mean, I've got all the minis here, but you know, I try to avoid spoilers on in the media, so just because some people are concerned about that, so I'll just.
We're gonna spoil away, so give us them all.
So I'm just gonna give you the 16.
Are these actually gonna
I'll
be
give you
metal
the
like
6.
this?
No,
they're gonna be plastic.
They're gonna be plastic. Okay.
Were these sculpted or were they 3D designed?
They're sculpted.
Okay.
Which is really great. I mean, I think they look really great. It's hard when you're doing a Kickstarter though with the sculpted minis because you can't give that like crisp image of like
This
a 3D
one's not really in
model.
the base, so be careful.
I know. I got it.
But yeah, if you want to give spoiler warnings, I can give you the others.
Yes, spoiler warnings. Let's do it.
All right.
I mean, you're here live with the Dice Tower. We're showing it all off. People at home want to see it. We're showing it off for you.
All right, maybe I'll just show you a couple of cooler ones. There we go. And then we've got like a giant bear here.
Wow, these are really nice sculpts.
Not all of them have faces.
Oh wait, this one. Oh, look at this bear. Look at this bear.
A little bard there.
It's really nice sculpts.
Thanks.
That bear was an exclusive. You guys have seen it first.
That's true.
There you go. There you go. All right. Let's see here. Extreme close up. I really don't like this touchpad. Let's see. What's the the MSRP was 120.
Yeah.
What's the release time frame as far as when will this be available? I guess not through pre-order, not through Kickstarter.
Yeah.
that type of
So so I'm looking at like August, September, that sort of time frame.
Okay.
Q3, I guess I could say.
All right.
But yeah, it'll go to Kickstarter backers first, but then it should be available in retail pretty soon after that. Like,
Okay.
You know, a couple weeks or something.
So around the Q3 August timeframe.
Yeah.
Okay. Outstanding detail, people are saying. Forge World is amazing. Can't wait for my copy of Chibi Bear. That wasn't Chibi.
No.
That was definitely not Chibi.
No, that is not chibi. That is
a
a
full size.
That is a
fully-
really good looking bear.
That is.
With armor on him.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. All right. Let's see. Box keeps getting bigger and bigger for Gloomhaven. All right. So, yeah, I think that's about it. What is that one? Is that one for you?
Yeah.
Let's see. How about the legacy part after fully play all those hours? Will it be done, or can you refresh, or will expansions relight the game?
So there's a couple design philosophies that I tried to stick to that the game, I mean, you should be able to play it forever. You know, the campaign is limited, but I mean, as I was saying with Eric, there's 95 different scenarios. So I mean, you can play it for you know, hundreds of hours before you actually get through all the content. Even after you finish the content, there's a randomized dungeon deck as well. So you can create random dungeons all you want. You'll never run out of random dungeons. And then I'm also going to support like resetting the game. So I'm going to be offering like a PDF on Board Game Geek to sort of explain how you could get all the cards back into the envelopes and sort of reset the whole game and play it over again if you want to do that.
Okay. Alrighty. What is the plastics quality going to be? Do you know that?
I don't know like the specific specs. I mean, I've got samples from the manufacturer and they look really good. And of course, I mean, if it's not right, then we'll go back to the drawing board. I mean, I'm happy to. I'm just gonna make sure that everything in the game looks great.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Isaac. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much. These minis look great.
Thanks.
So they all go in here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. I'll let you do that so that I'll place them somewhere that they're not supposed to be.
So we have a few minutes here, and we saw the Dresden guys. We might try to grab him in a little bit. We're gonna see how it goes. So you guys might get to see Dresden Files very soon. We're gonna try to see if we can get Dresden Files on there very soon. We also have some other companies waiting. Here's
Thanks for squeezing me in.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for stopping by.
yes, thank you. Some promos for Happy Pigs.
Appreciate it.
Keith, I have to see.
Yeah, we only brought 5 and they're already gone.
Oh, don't worry. Another time I'll vlog.
I would have brought them.
Anyway, as you saw, Iello just came in. Happy Pigs, they just brought us some promos for it. They're ducks for Happy Pigs. So you get a duck clan. I don't know if you guys have seen Happy Pigs yet. It's a really good game.
Turn away from the mic every time you talk to the camera.
It's a really good game. And we'll be talking with Iello soon, so you'll be seeing more about it. We have Catalyst Games. They're up there. Let's see what they have to bring out. I see more Viking style stuff, so let's go talk to Catalyst and see.
Pieces kind of back in their spot, so when you open the box, it looks like a train wreck.
We do have the internet microphone live at this point.
What's that?
This
That's
is
live. So anything I'm saying now can be held against me.
It is.
All right. Tom Vassell is a god. Does that help me?
Yes, it might.
Can't hurt, right?
That's why I'm here. I mean, that's what got me here.
Here. I didn't look earlier. I should have looked at how bad this was. So, are we with you then? You're the one who did
I will be speaking with you, yes.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, give me a slight.
Whatever you need to do.
Do we want to set this game up ahead of time, or just do we want me to do it live?
Since we're getting
This game takes some effort. That's what I'm asking. This one is easy. This one takes a little effort.
Would it be something that is simultaneous while talking about it? You can kind of be showing it once, because we've been doing a component and whetting the appetite for the games.
Right. I don't know if we'd want to do a full setup. Is there something? That
I'll do an abbreviated setup. We won't probably turn in front of the camera though. How much room do I got here to play with?
Yeah, you're close to the limit of where you want to be.
Okay. Yeah, let's there's some water. Yeah, for this one, because it does have some complication to it. Let's give it a little bit of a preset there.
Sure. Oh yeah.
These just go.
It's kind of go. Yes, they kind of go.
Okay.
like a map. Water.
That was upside down.
I know, it's going to drive you nuts.
Ones. Not what ones, not twos.
Oh, okay.
So these would go just straight across the bottom.
Oh.
Sorry. No worries.
And so I just went through dynamic of it's the mechanic of needing to choose between are you going to make a bait or are you going to take an action that does that as an asset. People need to balance out, making sure.
2 more waters and 2 more ones. Perfect. It's slightly abbreviated, but it'll look much better that way. So we'll do that. All right, so there is the basic board. How are we doing on space? So we gotta kind of show.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the game. There's no way this is gonna fit. So what do you want me to do about that?
Can we put it in front? We see most of that.
Most will be fine.
Yeah.
I can make most work.
I think we can do that.
Is it upside down? Yes. Okay, it is.
Yes, upside down from our perspective.
Those long pieces can be seen. I'll just put a scattering of tokens out here.
Right, it's the dynamic.
Let me get some. Yeah, I'm glad we do this because this game's got so much setup time.
It's the way it unfolds and the times you have to be the one to really do everybody. It's kind of a fun
Sail, warriors, and food. Where's food?
Yes. It's that feeling of occasionally having to go, guys, I'm sorry, like rip one or something. No, I'm about
This can be on film if I put it way over
You
here.
can put it all the way on the side. It shouldn't be honest.
In fact, Lauren, can you scoot to your right a little bit?
Absolutely.
When you're ready, I'll also put a mic on it.
Yep.
We can hear what you have to say.
cooperative games more, and now sometimes I play them even when I'm not doing research. So let's see, this should be kickstarting in mid to late April. We'll be kickstarting the base set along with the first 3 expansions with the first stretch goal being to increase the amount
Okay.
of decks.
Got some heroes.
MSRP is going to be $40. Oh, thank you very much.
We want to find Ragnar, don't we?
Sure we do.
There we go.
All right, thank you very much.
Pull up heroes that they would recognize.
Okay.
And then I grab a couple. So I grab a seal card. There we go. Many Suns is perfect.
I'll hand this to you.
All right, so flip them. Is anywhere there?
Yeah, that should work. And then this can clip anywhere that's comfortable for you. And I think, if you're all set, that will work. Once we get the cameras running, I'll...
When we switch between games, will we stop?
No, we'll
keep
continue.
Going? So
And
we'll basically kind of push this, we'll basically
we can
stack it off to the side.
We can shove it off to the side and just bring this out on top.
That's actually fine.
You ready?
Yep. No, but let's go for it.
We're just going with the flow, overview stuff. All right, I'm going to clap for audio sync. Hi, and welcome back to Las Vegas for the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I'm Eric Summerer, here with Lauren from Catalyst Game Labs. We're starting with the Vikings board game.
Yes.
That sounds just dramatic to say.
It's a dramatic show to watch. So
Yeah.
that's why we went after the license. It's just a blast.
Yeah, well, tell us about it.
All right, so Vikings board game, basically you're starting out just like the series starts out that's on History Channel. You're a group of Vikings, you're gonna leave your homeland and go out and explore, and basically plunder and pillage to bring resources back for the betterment of your people.
Okay.
And so basically, this is the homeland tile up here, which has things you can do, like you can do some farming, some day labor, build some sails, recruit some warriors. So up here, you're basically filling your longship. So everyone gets a longship card, and they come with a beautiful piece of art on them. And right now we get this loaded with food, warriors, and sails. Because you got to get across the water, which was a pretty big barrier for them, to find the new lands to basically explore.
Okay.
And so basically you have your longships here. You've got a calendar down here, where you'll stack up your resources. It definitely is a resource management game.
Gotcha.
So basically you spend the time filling your longship, and then eventually you
Sail to adventure.
Sail into the unknown. So basically, you don't know what's out here. Every tile, this is just an abbreviated board.
Right.
You could actually build you eventually will build a really huge board as you play.
And you had, these are level 1 tiles, and there's level 2 and 3.
So it's first summer, second summer, third summer. So every summer you go raiding. So you would just start out, possibly you would head this way, and you would go out there on the water, and when you go out there, you see what you find. And this says, you spend 4 days, and it costs you 2 food. So you would first go up here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. You take 4 days off the calendar.
Gotcha.
And it costs you 2 food. You would just spend.
But I only brought 4.
Yeah, it could be a problem. Again, usually it takes 3 tiles across the water. I set up a smaller board.
Right.
Now it would be my turn. Let's say I have got a similar boat. I'm not going to set it up today, but let's say I have a similar boat, and I would basically choose. I'm going to go over this way and try to, hopefully get a better path than you.
So you could follow me, but knowing
I could.
that's not great.
And it cost me 4 days and 1 sail. So the calendar would just also, I would catch up with you, and I would be burning a sail.
Right.
If you don't have food, you would basically starve warriors. If I don't have sails, it costs me extra days as we repair using our cloaks and underwear and whatever else we've got to sew into the sail.
There you go. So what if we make it across?
So going across, let's just assume this is like a 3-day tile.
Yeah.
But let's say I hit a 2-day tile. What's nice about the calendar is I'm still first. I found a better path than you, so I might make land. So I'm going to go over here to try to squeeze you out of this half of the board, and I would go next and make landfall. And this is 3 days, and there's some local trade that can happen here, which means I can trade from my ship to give me a better ship to try to raid and pillage. And meanwhile, you might hit over here, and you would find. There we go. There's a special trading tile which allows you to basically trade in a cash token for exotic resources, fur, spices, gold, and you would basically start adding stuff to your ship.
Yeah.
So you might find some gold. You might basically find some treasure. As you find stuff, you add it to your ship.
Yep.
So your ship gives you a finite amount of resources to spend.
To pick up.
This is called this one here is called a runestone. And so on your next turn, let's say you might be ahead of me on the calendar, so you get to go again before me, and you might go over here, but you might basically look and see what's there. And you found a city to raid.
Nice.
Those are always great. And you might drop a runestone on there. And what a runestone does, it takes that from a 3-day tile to a 2-day tile. So even time is a resource in this game. You want to spend it wisely. You only got so much time to go out there and accrue stuff.
Yep. So once you've filled up your boat, you have to sail back home as well?
You don't have to, but it's beneficial to do so.
Okay.
Because you would raid that tile, and it costs you 2 warriors, and maybe you pick up another treasure. So you're doing pretty good. So eventually you want to try to get back home, which means you also need to be finding food and sails, because that sea is still pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So eventually you want to try to sail back home, and when you do, you can go see the chief. You can go see the chieftain, the jarl, and turn in your treasure for Valhalla points. And Valhalla points are how you score the game. You might go to the seer, and the seer gives you things like quest cards. Like for this case, we've got many suns, where if you can bring all this stuff home, you get major points. This is a hard one. This is 21 victory points, Valhalla points.
Wow.
So there's easy, medium, and hard. There's hard seer cards, and then you can also recruit heroes. Here's Ragnar, who's the hero of the show, the main character in the show. And if you have him on your boat, then you may actually look at the tile before you go there. And if you don't like it, you can veer off and go somewhere else. Rollo is your warrior. If you have him, basically you can raid and you will lose less. So this says cost you 2 warriors. If you had Rollo on your boat, it would have cost you only 1 warrior for a treasure. So the heroes all give you different abilities, and again, the heroes are right out of the show. They're the stars and the characters you watch in the series. So you can just keep building a bigger and bigger boat. You can have up to eventually 3 or 4 heroes, depending on the length of your game. You can have up to 2 to 3 active quest cards, depending on what you find. And the rest of it is all resource management. And this is a big game, very resource management heavy style. It
Plays
comes
over
with,
how many?
about 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how big of your group is. Because you can have 5, 6 Vikings going out here and just going at it.
Okay.
And so we'll have eventually some expansions which may give you faster long ships or bigger long ships, which will come with both advantages and disadvantages as we add some promo expansions to the game, more players potentially. And so the idea was just to, if you're a fan of the Viking show and you want to really explore that world, this is pretty much the story they're telling. These people who are, they're gathering up what few resources they have, going out into the world, finding better resources, bringing them home for the betterment of clan and family. And then whoever has the most Valhalla points in the game is basically the favorite of Odin. You will ascend to Valhalla.
How soon do we see this game?
This game landed 3 days ago. It is working its way through distribution right now. My guess is it should street in 3 to 4 weeks as an estimate.
The Vikings board game.
Yes.
Let's move on to the World of Shadowrun.
Excellent. Well,
I'll
let's
just
move this
slide this
slide that
all over here and destroy the world of the Vikings.
All right. So we go from like one of our biggest games we've ever made to one of the easiest games we have actually made. So this is Shadowrun Encounters.
Okay.
I'm not sure you want to stand that up or not.
Yeah.
But
A push your luck dice game.
Yes. So what you do is we got some little city screens here, and I'll unfold one. So we are going to run in the city of Seattle today, and that stands up there just to show, so you can see where you're at. And it's just you have these dice here, and we have some cards. And I'm gonna leave the I'll dump the coins out here. There we go.
There we go.
This is easy to set up. Just dump it all out.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got Shadowrunners and you've got Encounters. I mean, you just throw out a few here. That should be enough to play with. And well, I might need some more Shadowrunners here. Where are they at? There they are. All right. So you have 2 stacks of cards. We're going to put this off to the side now that we've seen it. And you've got Encounters and you've got Shadowrunners. So when you start the game, you are playing a Megacorp. So you could be Ares Technology, Mitsuhama, you could bring Seder Krupp, and you all get a Shadowrunner. And we both get a 2-cost Shadowrunner. And there's more Shadowrunners out here on the table. So when you start the game, you got your basic dice, you've got your money pool. I'll put it over there. And we are in Seattle, and right now we're at the Orc Underground, which gives you a rule: once per turn, Orc, Troll, Shadowrunners may apply +1 to a single die roll, and that doesn't apply to either of us at the moment. So the basic game is, on my turn, I'll go ahead and start, and then you can follow up on the second roll. On my turn, I was basically turn over an Encounters card. Yakuza Contacts takes 1 to defeat. I have 6 dice.
Okay.
This should happen pretty well. Right, let's flip that over. And I blew it. I'm gonna go ahead and call a mulligan on that one for the sake of doing this. And hey, look at that! I got a 1. So let's say out of 6 dice, it's just 2 great rolls. I get a 1, so I basically put that out there. Now for this card, normally you would claim it, but for right now, just stick with the basics. So now, I'm gonna turn these around, make this to the camera. So now I can, if I have dice left, I can continue running. Now I need a 3. Any 3 as a combination. I can use my 3
or add
or my 2
dice.
and 1, however I want to do it. So that was a 2 there.
Yeah.
I'll just say, let's say I do my 2 and my 1. Because you want to lock your dice up, and the goal is to try to lock all your dice if you can. Now I need a 6. Okay, I didn't get it, but my Shadowrunner says I can apply a -2 to a single die roll. So 7 minus 2 is 5. I can find a way to 9. Nope, I can't do it. So I didn't defeat this, so I don't get to claim anything. So this would go away, and these dice would pass to you.
Okay.
You would then have a choice. You can either scrap the run completely and start fresh, or you can simply try to coattail, try to basically grab my points and roll up another one right here.
That's
so
a
you would
9
go.
I
That's
need
a
to get?
9. You would need a 9 on 3 dice. Bingo.
I got a 9.
You put that out there.
Yep.
Then you would go, you know, 1 die, not worth it. You would say, okay, I'm just going to basically end my run, and you would basically clear your dice, and you get For this column, you get 1, 2, 3 points plus any bonuses. 4, 5, 6, 7. You just got 7 points.
Great, and I
would
stole them
basically-
from you.
You stole them from me, which I'm not very happy about, but we'll get,
Yay.
you'll pay for that later.
No.
So it'd come back to me, I would do the same thing, probably get a couple points. Now what's important here is as we get points, we can also develop more resources. So on the next run, you would basically, firstly you'd flip a card over to see what you're dealing with. A ghoul, 12. You may not, and this says you may not use special Shadowrunners on this one. So you have to do that one without any help there. But before you do, you're going to bank on, so you know what, I'm going to spend two new yen, and I'm going to pull another Shadowrunner.
Ah.
So you can start recruiting a bigger
Hired
team.
somebody else, yeah.
And every Shadowrunner gives you abilities that allow you to affect the dice roll.
Right.
So now you got to hit a 12 natural. So go ahead and roll those out, and I'm sure you'll get a 12 natural. It's almost impossible not to. There it is.
2 5s and a 2 should do it.
So, and that's got a +3 bonus. Right there, you got 4 points. So because you're going to press your luck, that's the whole thing in the game. That's a special card. We're going to ditch that one for now. Just a 1.
That's all I need.
That's all you need.
All I have to do is roll a 1.
Okay, you didn't get it, but +2, discard the Shadowrunner 2. Against an encounter that doesn't allow. Okay, so we're gonna say this Shadowrunner says. Let's say the Shadowrunner says you could basically apply a -1, plus or -1. Okay, you're gonna basically burn the Shadowrunner to make that a 1, or +/-2, which we have a roll to make that the right die, and you've now locked that dice down. Okay, then you can say, but I like the Shadowrunner. I'm gonna retain him for his normal cost +1. So you basically spend your 5, and you get to keep that Shadowrunner.
Yep.
So now he got a bit more expensive because you just used him, but
Gotcha.
the idea is you are building a veteran team, and a veteran team costs you more money to maintain. And then you would go one more, and let's say you roll your 2 dice, and you lock those down.
Yep.
Here's the nice thing: those are all worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points there. You then can say, okay, I locked all my dice. You would pull those back, and you would roll up your second encounter. You're still running in Seattle in the Orc Underground.
So if you spend all of your dice, you can then reset and go again.
If you lock them all in
Yep.
any way, shape, or form, sometimes cards let you lock extra dice, but once you've locked them all, whether it's on 1 card or 6 cards, doesn't matter. You pull them back and you can continue to run.
And what ends the game?
So what ends the game? When you accrue up to, depending, you set the time limit ahead of time, 25, 30, 40, however much new yen you want to accrue. So it gives you a good idea of a 25 new yen game for 3 to 4 people. We're talking 15, 20 minutes probably.
Okay.
It's a pretty fast game.
How soon do we see Shadowrun encounters?
Shadowrun encounters will be out this summer. I believe this is slated right now as a Gen Con era product. So we're talking August, September, right in that neighborhood. It's already fully designed. This is actually a production mock-up that's basically being used to check the print run out to make sure we're all good to go. And you can just keep pushing your luck, and these cards will all be worth 2, 4, 6, 3, 3, 6, 9. The deeper you run, the more it's worth. By the end of the mission, when you've got 3 or 4 Shadowrunners out here, and you've got a big team and a couple of veterans, you are basically making big runs. And
Right.
you are just running the table, going for that 20, 30 point run,
In one go,
all
yeah.
in one go. And it really gets pretty intense there because any one roll could blow it.
Right.
Even with the Shadowrunners out there, you could still blow it on one roll if you roll the wrong dice.
Excellent.
And that's the whole game.
Thank you very much.
Anytime. Thanks
for watching.
Yep.
In 1 second.
Let's bring you over. It's gonna be a quick Q&A, very quick.
Sure.
Eric will pack up the stuff.
These are this goes so fast. There's so much of the game you really can't go
Eric,
over. but I
Eric will
hope that
pack
helps.
everything up. So let's bring you over. Let's grab your mic off because we're running a little behind. So we want to make sure we get a few questions with our audience while they set up the table for our next
Where am I
guest.
going?
Come with us. You're gonna sit over here. I've got the box.
Oh, I knew Iello was going next. It would take any time.
You mean that wasn't taking your time?
Okay.
No, I was.
Very, very quick. People have been asking about Vikings. Obviously, you have the Vikings license because you also did more Jarl stuff.
Jarl is the Vikings license game we did for the Duke engine.
Yes. Is there more tiles coming out? You have more stuff. More stuff for it.
So Jarl, there will be more tiles for Jarl as an expansion, yes. We don't know exactly when, but that is the plan. We've already got the set design. We just got to basically get to it.
There you go. More Viking stuff.
Okay. Will you have? Will this have plastic boats or just the cubes when it's?
It's all wood.
It's all wood.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and what's the MSRP for Vikings?
$60.
$60, and then that for Shadowrun?
30.
$30. Okay, good. How many players will Shadowrun support?
I believe that supports up to 8.
Up to 8.
And really, you can probably squeeze in a couple more. Just you'll just be cycling cards a little faster.
Okay.
I don't think we haven't tested the maximum limit it could be. We say up to 8 is really easy. I really think you could probably go 10 to 12. It can be made as a big party game.
Okay. All right. And another person wanted to know, will we see more BattleTech Lance packs released in the near future?
In the near future, are all 8? We have 8 total. I'm not sure if all 8 are in the market. If they're not, they will be very soon.
Okay.
But we will have 8 Lance packs all available in the market. If not now, then very quickly.
Okay.
So we did quite a few of them ahead of time. So we kind of pre-planned that whole line.
So very quickly, while Iello is still setting up and they're cleaning up the game, the Vikings license, how did it come about? People have been very curious about how you got Vikings.
Well, I was at the Licensing Expo, and I had seen an episode of the show, and it's just addictive. It is really fun. And I was at the Licensing Expo looking at a couple other properties for licensing for Catalyst Game Labs, and I walked past a booth, and that face was on a giant banner up above me. And you couldn't help but look at it. It just caught you and drew you in. And I looked at it and said, that's my box cover.
Okay.
And I walked in and said, what would it take to get this license? And we talked for a while, and basically they hadn't even thought about doing a game rights for it. And we made a deal, and it was my box cover. I didn't change a thing, just that, Ragnar's got the actor's got a great look about him, and that thing that draws you in. It's very intense. And so that's what, I saw that banner, and I've got to put that game out.
So they also asked, now that I know it's called Jarl and not Jarl,
we hear it both ways. I don't know which one's right. I'm assuming it's Vikings, so it's probably got a "yut" in there somewhere.
Does it mix with the Duke? Can you actually mix the tiles and play the games together?
And that's my favorite way to play, because while I love playing the Duke and Vikings head to head, because it's a very fun games. But if you take the English and the Vikings from the 2 boxes and play them together, yes, it's balanced to do so. And what's nice about it is that means the sides are very asymmetrical. It's not like I'm playing exactly my power against the same exact powers. I'm playing against a very defense-oriented team with very powerful strikes against the English, which can scatter around a lot easier and try to flank them. It really is 2 different styles of gameplay. And if you don't play to your strengths against their weaknesses, you will get rolled up by one or the other. I mean, it really makes a very takes the Duke engine to a new level.
Well, great. And that was Catalyst Games. Pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Let's turn it back over to Eric, who's with Iello Games and their new product.
So you're not.
And everything to be seen there?
I think so. We have.
And if I lay stuff here, that's good. Okay.
That should be fine. And the box is about the border of the other side. Yeah. Should be set.
Are you guys ready?
I think so.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Start rolling.
And we'll be talking to that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can sort of ignore the internet camera. All right, here we go. Hi, and welcome back to Las Vegas for our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2016. I'm Eric Summerer here with Keith from Iello Games. Hello, Keith.
Hey, Eric.
And we're looking at one of your upcoming releases.
This one is about a month out.
Okay.
And, we're averaging about 2 or 3 each month. So
Wow.
we just released a few this month, and we've got Sea of Clouds, Candy Chaser, and Kenjin coming out next month. But Sea of Clouds is going to be stellar. I mean,
Okay.
that's my prediction. You heard it here first.
So tell us about Sea of Clouds.
Sea of Clouds, you're air pirates. So
Well.
not just any pirates, but you've got airships flying around.
All right.
Pillaging, looting, just like pirates do.
Sure.
And the ultimate goal is to collect the most money and victory points.
Okay.
And so you're going to have a basic scoring track here that's got the cute little ship meeple that marks your turn. You're each going to choose Pirate. This is a game that's for 2 to 4 players. So I think we actually have it set on the 4-player
There we
version,
go.
so this one works for 2 to 3 players. You're going to load the deck here. If people are familiar with the Winston card drafting mechanic, that is used here, and I haven't really seen that used in board games before. It's
Okay.
usually used for collectible card game tournaments and that kind of stuff.
Okay,
So
how does that drafting work?
that drafting works. First person who's going is going to look at this card, decide whether they want it. If they don't want it, they put it back down but sweeten the pot by adding another one. And then they go on to the next one. And if they take it, that's good for them. They just
Okay.
replace it with another. If you can see here, you've got 4 different sides to your cards here.
Yeah.
The top one has a little icon of pirates, which is marked these cards with the red
These are the
back.
different suits that we're looking at here.
Right. And so these have your crew members for your ship. The two most important things is they have a power, which will help you when you have to fight other pirates.
Okay.
Which would be, in this case,
Me.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
And then they have a special, if I beat you, I get a special bonus.
Well,
here.
that sounds great. Looking forward to that confrontation.
There's also different objects, and I could show you a few of them here. So here's some samples of some of the pirate crew you've got. You've got the lookout, you've got the cook. Each one has different point values, which will help you in fighting. And of course, in usual Iello style, the art is pretty spectacular.
It is. It's really nice.
So Miguel Coimbra's artist for this. We really like his work. So if we're collecting the greenbacks, those are objects. So a number of different items that can help you in different ways, possibly even hurt you. So if you had the rusty sword, for instance,
That doesn't
this is
seem
going to
like a
make you
good
weaker.
idea.
Yeah, it's going to make you a little weaker. There's also card. If it's a card like this, you get to keep it for the entire turn. If it's a card that's got this symbol on it, it's a one-time use. You take the action right then, and then it gets
Gotcha.
discarded. And then there's some that have a little question mark symbol. Those are going to go on the bottom of your thing and will affect your scoring at the end. Usually for the positive, but what you collect is kind of up to you.
Okay.
Then you have the artifacts, and this is set collection.
Gotcha.
So the more you collect, the better you do. There's some that start off negative if you only have one, so then
need a bunch.
you're driven to collect more. And there's some that go up pretty high. So if you had Siren's Song and you were able to get 8, you'd get 43 points right
That
there. And
sounds
that's
like
probably
a plan.
pretty much a game ender right there.
Let's do it.
And then the most important thing, I believe,
The rum.
for the game is rum. Yeah, if you're going to collect and you're a pirate, you want to collect rum.
Yep.
So remember, you can have rot gut. You know, you don't want to get that kind of rum. That
No.
doesn't get you any extra points at all. Gold rum, pretty good. You might have top shelf rum. So basically, just one top shelf rum is going to score you 1 point. But if you end up having the most top shelf rum that you've collected during the course of the game, each one's worth 3. So having a collection of that is good.
So set collection and top shelf rum.
Yeah.
I have my game plan figured out.
Yep, and then there is a rum card that is purely set collection. So imagine collecting 5 of your collector rum, scoring 25 points immediately there.
Sounds
so
good.
We're all good about drinking, so that's okay to say online, right? Okay. So during your game, you're going to be doing that choice, going through collecting. We're all going to go through that once each time we move through. Once we get to this position, you'll notice there's a special icon here.
Yep.
This is where we fight our neighboring pirates.
Oh.
So in a 4-player game, it'd be left and right. And that's where you add up your points from your crew members, fight against the other. For each one that you successfully beat, you're going to get the gain. In this case, I'd get some extra money for beating you.
And you're taking that from me or from the bank?
If it says gain, you get it from there. If it says steal, I take it from the player. So depending on what it is. You also notice we have
There's
a
a
very
parrot.
cute parrot. This is the tiebreaker. And this can be stolen and passed around during the course of the game. So at some point, it may be worthwhile if you see the game's getting close that you work on getting the parrot over
It's
to
an affectionate parrot. There's a little heart. He's like, oh.
you. Captains and their parrots.
You bet. So you said this is what's the playtime about?
Playtime is about 40 minutes. I think once you know it, I think it's actually a pretty quick game. I think we play it in a half hour once you get to that. But really, target range is 40 minutes, 2 to 4 players. We call it a 10 and up, but I think the basics of the game are simple enough for a precocious 8-year-old to jump in and play it.
And you said this is coming up in the next wave of games.
Yeah, April 17th is our target date. I think we'll be pretty good. I think we will hit that date. We played it several times. We just got the production copies in. That's why we wanted to show you.
Excellent.
But we've played it a couple times already, and it's really a good game. Really a good game.
Keith from Iello Games, thank you very much, sir, for hanging out with us.
Oh, sure
And
thing.
thank you for watching. There we go.
Do I unplug here?
Please do.
What we'll do is, while Eric packs up the game, I'll
There's
grab
one
the cover.
coin, one rogue coin over there.
I'll grab the
that's,
cover so we can show it to everyone and come over for
great,
Q&A,
sure.
and Eric will pack up the game. So we're going to be talking everything Iello now with Keith. Iello is one of our favorite companies, and if we don't say it enough, thank you for getting us the booth not the booth, but where we did our live show at Essen. I know all our European fans who are watching, we're very thankful that we were able to do a show out there, and we have an even bigger room this year, thanks to Iello again. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Dice Tower, our favorite. So, they say that. Is anybody else listening? Okay. I think we got.
Yeah, the guys from Board Game Geek next door.
Are you planning on doing any Iello League room at Gen Con again this year?
We are probably going to do it in the main hall. So instead of having our own separate room, I think just for the buzz and what's going to be happening, we're taking place in the main hall. So it won't, unfortunately, be free to play. It will be ticketed to go to, but we're looking to do the league with the special prizes and all that kind of stuff again. It was very successful last year.
Very good. All right. What about King of New York expansions? Anything in the
King of
wheelhouse
New
there?
York Power Up.
Yes.
That will be out. We're looking at October. We'll probably bring some in for Gen Con, but I don't know that it will be generally available at that time. Yeah. And we've got some other cool things in the King line. I don't know that we'll make Christmas for them, but our plan is to have 2 King product things each year moving forward.
Good. That's awesome. What about Big Book of Madness? Any expansions set for that?
They're talking about it, but we're so far into this year, I think, in the planning that I don't think we'll make anything this year.
Okay.
There'll probably be some promos that will be released during the different conventions and possibly available online. But in terms of for the actual game, I don't think we'll be able to make it this year. But they're working on stuff.
Okay. Let's see. Are there any more? This is their warning, not mine. Although I agree with it. Are there any more awesome war type games like Heroes of Normandy set up for the future?
This was Sam's question.
It was not my
I don't really
question.
believe anyone on the internet asked this. Sam's asking this.
I will scroll if you want me to.
Yeah, Devil Pig is always working on stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll have the expansions, but nothing the size of Shadows of Normandy this
Right.
year. But Devil Pig has a huge lineup continuing, so different punch boards. Yeah, it's ongoing. We had, I think, a total of 24 different Devil Pig releases last year.
Wow.
So it was way too many for us
That was all
to
those
keep up.
expansions that
Yeah,
came
just
up.
little different
Yeah.
cards, the livestock, and whatever it is, they're working to expand it and just make it a more fuller and
Are there
complete.
any other kind of maybe not expansions for Heroes of Normandy, but any other kind of games like that coming from not necessarily Devil Pig, but anybody else?
Our deepest game, and I think probably will be one of our best games, is Bunny Kingdom, which by the name doesn't sound that deep, and it's coming from Richard Garfield, so he does light as well as heavier games. This will be a true gamer game.
Do you have a release date for that?
We will have some, we believe, for Gen Con, but it's targeted as an Essen release.
Essen release, okay,
Yeah.
but maybe Gen Con.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
People are asking about Dungeon Fighter and Welcome to the Dungeon.
Right.
Expansions for either one of those.
Dungeon Fighter, not at this point, because we did the
All
3
4.
block of the expansions, and that nothing more was in development for that. So we're going to wait to see how how the sales play out. But we will be doing Welcome Back to the Dungeon, and that will be out fall. That'll probably won't be able to beat an Essen release. I don't think will be much.
Now I see at least 2 questions about World of Yoho.
Yeah.
What I love it. I love that it's an app-based game, but the app your phone is actually your playing
ship,
piece.
yeah.
Is there any expansion plans, like new scenarios or a new map where you could use, or do you guys have any plans to expand the World of Yoho?
You know, the company we're working with has quite a few plans, but right now we came in so late. You know, it hit just about Christmas, and so sales haven't achieved what we want yet. So what we're bringing in, we're still selling through to see what the pace is. It looks to be good. Reviews have been very, very good. Thank you guys for that. But we don't really know what the time frame is for the future releases. So I would imagine by Essen there'll probably be something more. What that will be, we don't quite know yet.
Okay, cool. What about Medieval Academy? Have you got anything planned in the future for that?
We're talking to them, but nothing has really moved forward with that. It is one of our favorite games, but we're not quite sure, other than additional boards, what would really look like, in the Medieval Academy world.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. Welcome back to the dungeon.
Push the thing. Push the
Oh,
thing.
he's got the seagulls flying over there.
I love this app.
He's not even playing the game. He just likes to have the
I
seagulls
just love
chirping
it.
in the background.
It's hard, it's
There's
hard
special
to do it.
people like you that we
You
just
need the
appreciate.
board. It's hard to do it with your hand, but this does slide. Here we go. Ready, set, sail. It's hard to slide it on your hand, but this does slide. It's one of the coolest apps ever.
All right.
Yeah, the cannonballs leaving one phone and landing in the other phone is,
That's
is
amazing.
pretty slick.
Yes,
That's really
yes.
cool.
Okay, I will turn that off. We'll go back to questions for Iello.
Nice diversion.
Let's see here. One guy was, I don't know if you have any expertise here, but he was asking, are there any must-buy expansions for Heroes of Normandy?
That's really not a question that I'm good at. If Stefan was doing the interview, he would rattle them off in a second. That's
Right.
Stefan and Steven on our team. They play it constantly, and so I'm not the right person. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no, I would say that if you want a different feel for the game, then the Shadows over Normandy would give you that, because you can actually play 3-player with that one. But other than that, if you really are looking for the World War II, you probably want to stay away from the Shadows, but it's still a really cool thing. It has a lot of neat little mechanics in there of using the deep ones and all that other kind of stuff. So it's a neat expansion, but if you want to stay with the World War II, you'd probably stay with all the other expansions. But
yeah, arm it up with whatever equipment you want.
Exactly.
And so if you want certain landscapes, terrains, you can play the different scenarios, St. Mariglees, or you can do Pegasus Bridge.
Right.
And so those expansions have done very well and are well received.
All right, this is the last question here as they're getting set up. What was your inspiration for the Big Book of Madness? Or the inspiration, not yours?
Yeah, I actually had a chance to talk to the inventor, and obviously there's some similarities to Harry Potter. Can't quite avoid that.
Right.
But the thing that, when he was thinking about the storyline that seemed to really click with him was madness. That as you're playing the game, you can be accumulating madness, and that was something for him that he wanted to stay true. So they tested it for pretty close to a year. Different things, taking things in and out, but he said madness was the one thing he fought very hard to make sure it worked in the game, and then it was balanced with that in there. Of course, Iello has their touch, so we put a good artist with it, and that helps stimulate more ideas. But it's a classic story. I mean, don't go into the library and pick up that book. And so what do? We go pick up the book.
One more thing that I saw earlier, and this is a nod to Eric. People were asking about more in the children's book series of games.
Oh, yes. So releasing today, Pied Piper, that's the newest one. Our plans are to do 2 a year. And so this is the first one. I'm pretty sure I know what the next one is, but we're not quite allowed to say it yet because gameplay hasn't been ironed out. So there's a chance it could change, but we're looking to do 2 a year. The series is super strong. Pied Piper is really good, and it's got, can I say adorable? I can say adorable.
Yeah, of
little
course.
wooden mice with the colored tails. So.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Well, thank you, Keith, for stopping by.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Yes, and we
we'll
thank
talk to
you
you
for
later.
everything. As I
Yeah,
always say,
absolutely.
you guys have treated us so well, just helping us at conventions, and we love it.
All right. Love you guys too.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I was handed batteries, everyone, while we were in the middle of that interview, which means it's time to change the batteries on the microphone. Let me do that before we.
It's also time to switch to the second live stream.
Before we do that, we will be switching streams, so we're gonna shut this one down. Come see us at the 1 o'clock stream. We'll have the batteries changed, and we will talk to you in a minute. So catch us on the next stream right now. Let's shut it down in, when are we shutting it down? We're shutting it down soon in, I don't know how long, but
Couple
in
seconds.
3, 2, 1, bye-bye.